And if y'all got phones, please mute them. Please mute them. All right. So with my lectures, I do go live to my congregation. My congregation is called Honor Humility STL MELCHIZEDEK Ministries. So we live now. So for the audience, Shabbat Shalom Alaikum. For y'all that don't know what that means peace be unto you, my brothers and my sisters. So basically what we're going over today is geographic genetics and cultural consciousness. So what geographic mean is a place and a location. Genetics is what you made of, is your genome code, your DNA. So I'm going to prove today that we were created in a specific place to thrive in, and that's the reason why we sick. So anybody know about the slave trade? Isn't that the reason why we're here, right? So what happened if that's the reason why we're sick? Because we're homesick. Literally, like our bodies, our DNA, and our blood are yearning for our homeland, which what we call Africa. So if you get into Hebrews, they say Israel, and they try to separate Israel from Africa, but that's not the case at all. Israel is actually in Africa. Y'all know that, right? So we finna go through these scriptures and we finna prove everything. All right, shalom, shalom to the family that's coming in the building. We're going over geographic genetics, cultural consciousness. Y'all see the screen? I actually got this picture off of Google and just put my own letters on there. This picture is not mine at all. I found it on Google. I typed in light body. That's what popped up. And anywhere I get my research from, I will cite it and tell y'all where it's from. That way y'all can look up these things yourselves. And I will share my book list with y'all too. That way y'all can download these things yourself. So the whole thing is I want y'all to leave here with the mindset of being healthy. Because in order to live out your life and to fulfill your purpose, you need time to do that. You can't do that if you're sick. You can't do that if you're sitting on the couch all day because your stomach hurt. You can't do that if you're back and forth in the hospital. You can't do that if you want every chemical medicine that these doctors prescribe you. You're not in your right mindset. In order to fully feel your purpose here on this earth, you have to be at your best health as possible. Okay, y'all get that, right? All right, so let's get started. Let's go to the first slide. Okay, so this is what I really want to show y'all. Now, if you look at this, before when I do any seminar, any lecture, I always key in on this. And this shows you the age-adjusted percentage of persons 20 years of age and over who have high blood pressure. And this is only from 2009 to 2012. The numbers have skyrocketed since then. We in 2019. So what I'm going to show you, it is crazy that any disease you can think about, any disease that you can name, guess who is the highest in them? Us. Nobody else. So-called African-American Negroes. And my whole question would be, why is that? Anybody know? Why is that? Why? Why are we so susceptible to diseases more than anybody else? So if you can look at this, we got the man. This is non-Hispanic black, non-Hispanic white, non-Hispanic black, non-Hispanic white ratio. And if you can look at the women, the man, this 42.5. But when you look at the non-Hispanic white, theirs is only what? 29.6. You look at the women, there's a 44. And notice the black woman is always more unhealthier than us when it comes to sickness because they target y'all. So everybody think that the white man is just after the black man. No, they're not. They can really care less about us. Where do we come from? We come from the black woman. If you can attack our matrix, the wound that we come through, if you can attack on a cellular level, you are doomed before you even pass through a womb. If she's pregnant with you and she's drinking or she's smoking and she's malnourished, she's listening to all this bad radio programming. Notice it's called program. To program your mind. You are already subconsciously programmed while you are actually being developed as a fetus. So when you come out, you lacking nutrition, you lacking iron phosphate, you lacking magnesium. You've been hearing all these bad vibrations. If it's the way that the white man wanted, the household is in an uproar. That mean that baby, while that baby was growing in the womb, she done heard you fighting with your husband, your baby daddy, whatever we want to call him. So the baby comes out and the baby got anxiety. The baby can't breathe. The baby's sick. The baby lacking nutrients. The baby is very scared of loud sounds. And it's because all these things he was traumatized with by DNA while growing inside of the womb. But this is by design, y'all. This is not an incident. All these things are by design. All of them. All right. So we see that according to this, in 2009, going into 2012, you will see that the black man and the black woman have more high blood pressure than anybody. And this is just on a white to black ratio. If you go down to any race, We are always the highest, and this is not a coincidence. It's literally, it's a biological weapon that they're creating to kill us. They weaponizing our food, they're weaponizing our air, they're weaponizing our water, they're weaponizing our television program, they're weaponizing everything. When you go to sleep, unplug your TV. Don't never sleep with your phone in your room. Do you realize this is the #1 causes of brain cancer amongst the Black community? Our phones, because we are people that need things because we lack love within ourselves. So anything that's going to distract us from recognizing ourselves, we're going to pay attention to it. That's why if you go out to any store, going to Walmart, everybody you see going to have what in their hand? Walking zombies too. I'm talking about literally walking zombies. Walking zombies. Half the car accidents is going on is because people are texting and driving. People on Facebook while driving. People on Facebook going live, getting into car accidents live while driving. This is not a coincidence. Like, we are being targeted, but the reason is, again, why are we being targeted? Right? Go to the next slide. All right, diabetes. So first was high blood pressure, right? Now we get into diabetes. It says Black Americans are 77% more likely than white Americans to be diagnosed with diabetes. Why is that? Diabetes, if you look at the spiritual component to diabetes, it's connected to love. That's why it's connected to sugar. All right. Now, if you go to any Black household, especially people from the South, what do they call their grandchildren? Sugar. What do they call their loved ones? Honey bun, sweetheart, sweetie. Why is love closely connected to sugar? What's going on with that? What do the mothers do on birthdays? They buy their little Black children birthday cakes full of sugar, ice cream full of sugar. You be good. Did you do good school? Did you get A's on your report card? Let me go get you some candy. What is the association with sugar and love? You will see that sugar is what they gave us. And that's why we have so many crackheads in our community, or dope fiends. What is that? It's called cocaine, come from the sugar cane plant. All these are in the same family. So you see people that lack a lot of love, they become basically emotional eaters. But what fills that hole inside of them is eating addictive things. The most addictive drug anybody can ever eat is sugar. That is worse than meth. That is worse than heroin and everything. Cigarettes. What's inside of a cigarette that you like? Nicotine. Look at the main thing that creates the chemical makeup of nicotine. It's sugar. Inside of alcohol. What makes up alcohol? Sugar. Why do you think you get fat when you drink alcohol? It's from the sugar. It creates lipids. These lipids creates fatty acids and oils. That's why you see that. Like, whatever we got going on and whatever we addicted to, sugar is at the basis of it. Why is that though? We're going to get in that too. Because melanin is carbon. Carbon is nothing but sugar. When it becomes crystallized, it turns dark. Everything about us is going to start as black as this tablecloth. When you look up in the cosmos, if you take every star out of the cosmos, if you take the sun and the moon, what we're going to see? We're going to see blackness, a dark void. This is what you are made out of. So like, everybody want to talk about Hebrew Israelite this, Hebrew Israelite that. I'm down with that. In the fleshly form, yes, I am a Hebrew Israelite. But before there was a Hebrew Israelite, before that, before the Bible even mentioned Eber, what were we? And when we read in scriptures, it says that we was created in his likeness and in his image. Well, if you go to John and you actually read John, it says that he is a spirit and you must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if he's a spirit and we must worship him in spirit and in truth, and we were created just like him in his likeness and him in his similitude, then that means we are spiritual creatures too. So where do we come from? Because can you create spirit out of physical things? No, you can't. Spiritual things create physical things. So who were you before you was put in this meat suit? Or we call these avatars, these vehicles. Once you get into the essence of that, man, there's some powerful revelations in it, I'm telling you. And that's what this is about. So you see that we are the highest. We're the highest in blood pressure, high blood pressure. We're actually the highest in diabetes. You look at that. Look at the African Americans. Look at the men. That says 9,200. Look at the women. That's almost to 1,000. 1 point away from 1,000. Remember, they always hiring us. Now, when you go over on their side, look at the whites. 6,300, 5,300. Look at the total, 9,500 to 5,800. Here go the source. I'm not making none of this stuff up. Look this stuff up. And once we start reading these scriptures, it's going to blow your mind how frighteningly accurate it is. So everybody want to talk about they Kemetic. They come from Egypt. They come from here. They come from there. But it seems like the only thing that we line up with would be these historical records that we call the Bible. And I'm talking scientifically. Not scriptures, not just going through the Bible, saying hallelujah and making y'all feel good. I'm talking about we can take the Bible out of the equation and we can do science. Go down to the scientific database, and then go back to the Bible and see which one line up, or go back to the Dead Sea Scroll, or go back to the Book of the Dead, or go back to the Quran. We can go to any other book source and it won't talk about none of this and it won't be accurate. But we can go to this Bible that everybody claimed that was written by a white man. And how is it? Is this a coincidence that everything that's been talking about 4,000 years before us is finally accurate till this day? Come on now. Like it's time to start like just being realistic with things, sir. Let's get the next slide. So this is STDs. So we got high blood pressure, we got diabetes. Now we on STDs, gonorrhea and chlamydia. Now, if y'all look at these little lines, you see the blacks, right? The black lines is right here. There go the blacks. Now, if you see who is highest in all of these, guess who it is again? It's us. It's us. Even down to the STDs. What is really going on here? Let's keep going. It gets deeper. It gets deeper. HIV. And HIV is not an STD. It can be contracted through sex, but it's not out that way. HIV actually started from a white man in Germany, went to Africa, and he started kidnapping monkeys and doing experiments on them. He literally started taking something called glycoprotein up out of their kidneys, right? This glycoprotein had a virus in there called SIV. Now, what happened was he created something called the polio vaccine. So guess what he did? He took the polio vaccine and he mixed it with SIV that came from the kidneys of these monkeys. And then he started doing experiments on Africans. Now, not the Africans that I mean that's in there, they got the big earrings and the horns inside their nose and they mar their skin and they can't go birds. I'm talking about full bearded Africans that are actually Hebrew Israelites that just didn't know they was. And guess what happened when he put this vaccine inside of them? Your first HIV case. And guess what? They put this in 100 of us, and you know we sleep around and we hump like rabbits because we have to reproduce. And next thing you know, you put them on ships and you bring them over here, or you take them to the Portuguese, or you take them here and you take them there. Now you got this mass virus that's everywhere now. That's why we the highest in it, because it started with us. Herpes, same thing. Herpes started off with something called the zoster vaccine. All these STDs that we claim are STDs come from actually vaccines. Look it up. Have you ever heard of the zoster vaccine? Anybody? I bet half of y'all done got it and don't even know what y'all was getting. And the zoster vaccine comes from the zoster family. It's called a hemith worm. This is where you get herpes simplex virus from. It's called the zoster family. Y'all don't believe me? Just Google this stuff. So we thinking we getting these through sex. We thinking that we being unfaithful in marriages, and people like, I didn't cheat. You asking, did she cheat? I ain't cheat either. Somebody lying. And y'all both can actually be telling the truth. Y'all get this stuff through vaccines and what y'all have ate. Look at this. We don't even got to read this chart. We at the top. Ain't that a big difference from everything else? We ain't even got to read the chart. All right, let's keep going. Herpes. Then we got to read this chart. Non-Hispanic blacks. These are black people. Everybody else is everybody else. Well, I'm talking about we are beating these people by a landslide. Y'all see that? Why are we so sick? Why are we so sick? So before we actually start this seminar, this lecture, whatever we want to call it, I want to get into some scriptures. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to start at verse 15. Y'all make sure y'all writing this stuff down. We finna get into the essence of what scripture is really talking about. And no other book on planet Earth is doing this. And if y'all find it, please let me know. If y'all find a Bible, if y'all find any book that show prophecy and future things that came to pass to the exact T, that can explain my identity, who I am, my purpose, what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here, if y'all can find that book, the book that's I'm talking about doing what this book doing, that can call the end from the beginning from the end, my destiny, everything, and got the genealogy of every race on planet Earth. If y'all can find that book, then I'm finna start questioning things. If y'all can find that book for me and it proves all these things, I might denounce what I serve right now. If y'all can find that book, there's no other book that exists out here though. This is how serious this book is. So Deuteronomy chapter 28, start at 15, and read as loud as you can too, brother, so they can hear you on the mic.
Deuteronomy 28:15. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right, so look, it's a universal law. With anything, we got universal laws, right? If I throw this pen up in the air right now, what is it going to do? It's going to fall. They call this the law of gravity or the law of friction, right? Or what goes around comes around. The law of gravity, the law of friction. They call that the Karmatic law. So we see that the universe have laws. If you jump out of a plane and you don't got no parachute on, we're going to be going to your funeral. That's the law, because what goes up must come down. So we can recognize basic laws. If you're driving in your car and your brakes go out and you have nothing to stop that, what are you going to do? You're going to hit something until it stops. These are laws. So we can believe in these laws that we don't see, but when it comes to a law that's in the book that make perfect sense, we say that they done away with. So is the law of me jumping out of a plane and not hitting the ground's done away with? No. You see what I'm saying? So we see that the universe, who we call Yahweh, that's who I call him. That is his name, our Father Creator. He gave us universal laws to live by to keep us healthy. If you read the laws, all of it is to keep you healthy. So anybody knocking the Bible, all you got to ask them is, what's bad about it? It gives you a good dietary law to keep you living long. It talks about character, how you better not lie, don't steal from your brother, don't sleep with your brother's wife. These sound like pros to me, don't it? So even if you don't believe in it, you can't knock the literature or what's in there, because it's for pro-life and it helps you live. It's for prolonging of your cells. Come on.
16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
You see that? Cursed shall thou be in the city. Who was the main ones that fill up the cities of any state? Who in the cities? Us. We're in the cities. Ain't that right? I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? You can't look. We from the city. They actually got, are you from the county? You ain't bad enough. The niggas from the city, they rob you and they'll kill you. See how they associate everything to the city? So we got, cursed shall you be in the city. Come on.
And cursed thou shalt be in the fields.
In the fields. Who was in the fields cursed, picking cottons, getting ripped in half, getting castrated, getting burnt alive on stakes? Who was that? That's us again. I speak louder. Who was that? So who fill up the cities till this day? And who was getting cursed in them fields? Do y'all see any white man getting cursed in the fields, getting hit with whips, getting chained up, getting hung, getting castrated, getting put on fire, getting used as fireworks for the 4th of July? No, you only see us. This book is talking about us. So if we want to find true health and we want to find true life, awareness, and purpose, we need to be digging in this book. And if anybody can prove me wrong, please let me know, because at the end of the day, I am a researcher. If I turn out that my research wrong, I'm so real with this, I would denounce everything I'm saying, but I haven't found it yet. And I've been doing this for 10 years. Let's keep going.
17. Cursed shall thou be basket in thy store.
Cursed shall your basket be in the store. Do you know what your basket is? That's what you carry it around to put your food in. So if your basket is cursed, that means your food cursed. So we have something called welfare now, food stamps. Without these things, ain't we bad off? And then look, we vegans, plant-based vegans. You know how much our food costs a month? Don't let a check go missing around here. We starving. We're not eating. So we see that we curse because we don't have land to grow our own food anymore. We just now getting back into agriculture. So you see that this is talking about our food being cursed in the store. It says that we're going to be cursed in the field. We was on the fields picking cotton. And it also said that we was going to be cursed in the cities. You see all them murdering each other in the cities, doing drugs, prostitution, STD rate high in the mug. And you were catching everybody off of meth, off of heroin, anything you can name under the book in the cities. Who is this talking about? Right now, this fitting us. I mean, is it fitting anybody else? Can y'all think of any names that this fitting? I can't. Let's keep going.
18. Cursed shall thy be the fruit of thy body.
Ooh, cursed shall the fruit of thy body. Now, the fruit of your body, what is fruit made of? Fruit is made to reproduce. And the only part of a plant that you call a fruit is the reproductive part of the plant, right? So cursed shall be the reproductive part of your body, the fruit. This is actually getting into the health in your reproductive system. We have more sick babies than any babies on planet Earth. Our infants are coming out iron deficient, anemic, shivers, Tourette's, any type of disease you can name. Our babies is coming out like that. And then they coming out, they having spasms, they cry a lot. And we don't know what's going on with the babies. It's because they're lacking things. But all this is due to the curses, because Yahweh had gave us a commandment to keep. He said, keep my words, keep these universal principles and laws that I've given you. The moment you break these are what's going to fall on you. These are following us. So curse should be our wounds. Curse should be the fruit of our bodies. That's our sickness. And he's going to get very into detail of what's going on here. Let's keep going.
And the fruit of thy land.
And the fruit of thy land. It's famine everywhere you go. You go into Israel, you go into Africa right now, you go into certain parts, it's desolate, deserts. And if you look back thousands of years ago, it used to be trees, forests, jungles, fruit trees, crops. You go there now, dust bowls full of sand. You be like, what happened here? We see what's going on. Come on.
The increase of thy kin and the flocks of thy sheep.
Come on.
19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in.
Woo.
And cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
You see that? When you come us in, when you go us out. When we come into this world, we curse. When we leave out, we curse. Meaning, I got to get up and work this 9 to 5 again. I got passions and desires. I want to pursue this and be creative with myself because I'm a creative being. We're black. We're melanin, most creative beings on planet Earth. You can't even do that because you're too busy working for somebody else, making them money, and you barely paying your rent. I got to jump in this truck today. If not, how these bills going to get paid? Dang, I got this 9 to 5. I can't even make it to that. Let me see if I can call off on my marriage. Dang, I'm out of sick time. You got somebody telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and it ain't even your God. Woo. Talking about serving another, boy. Who is this talking about? Curse when you come in, curse when you go out. Let's keep going.
20. The Lord shall send upon thee curses, vexation, and rebuke.
You see that? Vexation is stress. If you look at that word, that's stress. We're the most stressed people on planet Earth. Anxiety, hair thinning, hair falling out, can't grow hair, pimples, bumps on our face, boils under our arms, butt hurting, can't sit down, back hurting, lower back pains, heart flutters. Everything, high blood pressure, diabetes, pancreas giving up on us. We're literally walking and decaying and don't even know what's going on. That's because as a people, we have turned our back on our culture. And that's what makes us sick. Because what do your culture consist of? Your culture consists of a land where you get your food from, your language. Language shapes your whole entire DNA. A God governs who you are as a people, your identity. We don't know who the hell we are. We're going to say black, the color of a crown. We're going to say African-American, named after 2 white men. You see what I'm saying? In 2 continents. How can I be 2 continents? Your apparel. We either wearing Nike that was created by a white man or Gucci. And now this everything else, Fendi, Prada. And are afraid to wear our garments. People laugh at me for dressing like this. I get laughed at. I think I'm pretty sharp. I'm dressing like my ancestors. People laugh at us. See, and that's what's going on with the mindset of our people, though. We have been so programmed. And man, they're like these culture vultures then gave us a whole new culture. Now you want to rock what they make. Now you want to drive the cars that they made. Now you want to rap the things that they programmed you to rap. Now you watch TV. You want to watch this. You're addicted to power, the empire. You're doing everything but trying to find out who you are. Do you think that's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence? Ask the average person. Do you want to study culture, geographic genetics and cultural conscience, or you want to go to this party? I'm like, let's go to the party. I want to sit down and learn about me for. I'd rather go get drunk and get high if I can forget about who I am. Because learning the true you have to go back through that damaged process that you went through to get where you at. And that's the thing about healing and detoxing. That's what we call a healing crisis. If you had a flu before, you got herpes, you had breakouts before, guess what? If I'm cleansing you from it, you're going to go back through the breakout period. You had a flu before, you're going to have flu-like symptoms. We don't want to go back through that trauma state, but we have to. Let's keep going.
And rebuke in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thy perish quickly, because of thy wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Come on.
21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee.
Now we finna get into it. This is what's finna get into the lesson. Pestilence shall cleave unto us. Come on.
Until he have consumed thee from off the land.
Come on.
Whether thou goest to possess it.
Come on.
22. The Lord shall smite thee with consumption.
You see that? So he gonna smite us with consumption. Do y'all know what consumption is? You consume food. So it's gonna be something that consume us. What consumes a human being? Parasites, parasitics, bacteria. Come on.
And with fever.
And with fever. Fever comes in when inflammation comes in. Fever is a sign that your body is trying to eradicate a sickness. That's why you get fever. Oh, I'm feverish. What we see in our analogy and our way of healing, don't never stop the fever. That's the body burning and boiling the blood to get whatever pathogens that's in there out of there. That's the whole point, that the temperature rises. But notice, he says we're going to be feverish. We're going to be consumed. Come on.
And with inflammation.
And with what? Inflammation. Isn't inflammation the number one cause of dis-ease? Look this stuff up. So we're going to be feverish, which means to be sick. We're going to be getting consumed or consumption, which means we're going to have all types of other living organisms inside of our cellular structure. And we're going to have inflammation. Y'all know the medical term for inflammation is itis. Tuberculosis. It's just any itis you hear, it links to inflammation. Y'all think I'm lying? Look this stuff up. Who is this talking about? Huh? Grandma got arthritis. Huh? Grandma legs swollen. But what grandma been doing? What grandma been eating all her life? Grandma been eating soul food, which was really death to the soul. Grandma liked to put sugar and maple syrup and everything. Grandma like everything deep fried with grease that's gonna clog up them arteries. Y'all actually think that these come from pre-exilic Israel? This diet don't come from Africa. This diet don't come from Israel. This diet came from white slave masters and Arabian slave masters. We was taught these things by slave traders. You know why? Because it can cook it real fast, and whenever you put grease to it, it'll change the molecular structure of it, and it'll taste good. You see that? So, and how can you feed thousands and thousands of people and multiply thousands and thousands of food, but we all can eat to keep working? I'm going to find the biggest pig I can get, because back then pigs was the cheapest on the market. We're going to take the delicate parts of it that don't have the worms in it. We're going to give them the left ends of it. We're going to give them shitterlings that y'all call, yeah. We're going to give them pig feet, pig ears, everything that don't even have no phytonutrients in it. We're going to get them that. Now, we can multiply this if we cut it in half, add flour to it, and put it in some grease. You see that? And that's why we love ham so much. But we read our scripture, it tells us we can't eat it at all. Why is that? And we're going to get into the biology of that as well. So we see we was left with the scraps. So we are literally eating what our slave masters have taught us to eat. That's why we sick. And we coined it soul food. And notice how we connect spirituality with everything. Why we call it soul food? That's how much of a spiritual people we is. Soul. I want soul food. Somebody get on your nerve. You say Jesus. You drop your pen. Oh, Jesus. We associate spirituality with everything because we're spiritual people. We have forgot that it's time to get back to this culture and this custom. And that's why I named this geographic genetics and cultural consciousness, because the only way to get back to full health and to figure out who we are and to start walking and living our purpose is to connect back with our culture. Your culture is Hebrew. It's what it is. You are an Israelite, and we can go beyond the flesh, and you are a star being, and we come from the stars. And I want to show that. Let's keep going.
And with an extreme burning.
With a what?
An extreme burning.
Extreme burning. And this is called acidosis. Have anybody heard of the potential hydrogen scale? You got alkaline, and then you got acid. Anything that's on the alkalinity side is where your health at. Anything that's on the acidic side, that's where death at. So we see that we're going to have fever. We're going to have inflammation, which is itis. We're going to have parasites, which is consumption. And we're going to die of burning, which is acidosis. Who is that on? Everybody you see inside of the hospitals be us. And guess what they suffer from? Acidosis. That's why as soon as you go in there, they hook you up and put what in you? Sugar water. Notice that? Oh, you dehydrated. Let's put some man-made alkaline water into your veins. Notice that's the first thing they do. They hook you up to something that's alkalinity. Like it be in our faces, but we so in tuned in everything else, and so our heads just up our butts that we don't know what's going on. Whole time you're being targeted because you are the most beautiful, powerful creation on planet Earth. You are literally an electrical being, and they're using us as batteries. You're a black man and a black woman with a battery in your back. That's what's going on. That's why when you get up, you go to work. As soon as you get home, you probably have something to drink. You go to sleep to restore your battery just to get up and do what? Go to work. Meantime, you're not doing anything for yourself. And if you are doing something for yourself, it's unhealthy as hell. Am I lying? What is going on? What is a diabolical plot on the black man and black woman? And I'm not being racist. I'm being real. That's what's going on. Let's keep going.
And with the sword.
And what?
And with the sword.
So not only is we going to be dying of all this sickness, we're going to be getting killed in these streets by the sword. Your modern day sword now is a gun, particularly to the hip of a blue-eyed white man that's going to pull you over. And if you make any wrong move, he going to take your head off. Huh? And he going to get off of it too. He going to get off. That's scripture. He going to get off. Nobody will redeem us. Nobody. Nobody will redeem us. We're going through these things because we have turned our back against our culture and our heavenly creator. All right, we can stop there right there. And I want you to go to Jeremiah 17. Jeremiah 17. Let me plug my computer up real fast. Jeremiah 17. You can switch to the next slide.
First one.
We're going to start at 1. We ain't going to start there yet. I want to show a few more slides. So I usually do lectures and I don't pull Bible scriptures. I quote scriptures. But since a lot of people here are interested in these things, and I do got some Hebrews here, I wanted to mix the Bible lesson with the lecture, if that make any type of sense. All right. So the next one is cancer. We the highest in cancer too. Notice who's equal with us though? The white folk. Why is that? Because of all this radiation we're around. Your computers, your cell phone, these speakers, literally your outlet plugs. When you get in the car, do you know when you get in the car and you sit on the seat and you turn that engine on and you become the ground to that car? Whenever you driving, you're the ground. All that radiation and electricity is going through you because you're an electrical being. So everything gives us cancer. The chemtrails, your toothpaste, your lotion that you're putting inside of your skin. That's why it's good to read all these things. Is all this by coincidence? Your toothbrush got pig in it. Huh? Your cell phone, what you put on your ears got pork in it. Why are they saturating us with all of these chemicals and all the things that Yahweh told us we shouldn't be consuming? These are things that keep us spiritually dumb, keep us spiritually programmed, that keep the hertz and the frequencies of our bodies very, very low. Come on. All right. Back to the question. Who are you? Who are we as a people? And I'm not talking about a Hebrew. So if I point to somebody random, which is you, tell me who you are without attaching yourself to a nationality. I don't want to hear Hebrew. I don't want to hear black, none of that. Who are you? And what do you mean? That's right. Good answer. She said that's why we brought you here. Okay. That was a good one. Good one. All right, come on. This is who we are. Beautiful black people and family. Now, if you look at this, you just see images, right? You know, this is a beautiful black family of many different colors, but all of them are made up of melanin, right? But if I get a microscope and I zoom in on each of these individuals and I blow up, first thing I'm going to see is real big hairs. Then after that, I'm going to see pigmentation in skin. Then I'm going to see molecules, red, blue, purple, black. Then after that, I'm going to see another barrier of skin. Then if I go deeper, I'm going to see blood. If I go deeper than that, I'm going to start seeing bone. Then this bone grows up and it grows into cells. Then these cells go into something called nucleus of cells. Then I get into the nucleus of cells, it's protons, neutrons, electrons, atoms. Then I blow it up again, I see electricity bouncing around. Then I can see the same one split off and bounce around. Then I go in again, I see nothingness. So if you actually zoom in, as more as you focus on a cell and zoom in, it becomes nothing but atoms. And atoms are made of 88% of nothingness. Look this up. So I'm made of atoms and atoms are made of nothing but nothing. So what am I? What am I? Is all right, go to it. Go to the next slide. Here it goes. All right. So we're talking about the difference between races. All right. Oh, can you see that to read it? Yeah. Go ahead and read it out loud as you can.
Anatomical differences between races.
So we getting into anatomy, right? Now we finna show with science that we are biologically different from any other race on planet Earth, even the Africans. See, I know we all think we Africans and we come from this African land and, you know, we call them our brothers and sisters. But the ones we're really calling our brothers and sisters from that land are actually Hebrew Israelites. Do you know that there is a genetic difference between you and an African? How was Moses able to hide amongst the Egyptians? Moses was a Hebrew, right? But the Egyptians were Egyptians. These are two different nationalities, but we see Moses went and hid amongst them. He worked for them. He actually was the stepson of Pharaoh. How was he doing all these things If these are two different nations, obviously they look alike, but it's things that you can find that are very different when you look at them. For instance, the size of the skulls. Our skulls are way bigger than theirs. Theirs are more elongated than ours. The bones, we have more bone mineral density than they have. Our blood goes to our heart way quicker than theirs. Hair, they genetically cannot grow any facial hair, none. That's why you see us with full beards, but you go to Africa and they barefaced it. And then notice they mar their skin. It's different, and they even look different. They look different. Culture's different. They're taller than us. Their lungs are more elongated than ours. The back of their head pivot more than ours. But you will see skin-wise, we look just like these people. Come on, let's read this.
Biological differences exist in the body composition of blacks and whites. We reviewed the literature on the difference and similarity between the two races relative to fat-free body mass, water, minerals, and amino acids.
All right, so this is how we differ from any other race. Fat-free body mass, we are automatically skinnier than any other race. The reason why we see a lot of fat people out here is because, again, the diet, the mindset, the culture. All right? It says water. We have more water mass in our bodies than any other nature. Why is that? Because water actually helps you produce electricity. We're the most electrical beings on planet Earth. All right? Minerals. When we get into mineral bone density, it's crazy what you see and how different our bones is than any other race on planet Earth. That's why we require more minerals. Our main minerals is iron phosphate. That's what keeps the oxygen transporting through your blood, and it gives phytonutrients to each of your cells, right? And then amino acids. Amino acids is literally these acids that help makes up something called amino acid structures. When they become too complex, they turn into protein. These are the building blocks of creation, or the building blocks of life. So if I just have a statue full of amino acids, right, and it has no type of minerals in there, it just be a big old block of static things. Once I put minerals in it, minerals help glue amino acids together. That's why we need minerals, right? But if you just have them two alone, I will be a statue. I will be hard as this computer and as this speaker. So what's giving us life? What's keeping us moving? What's keeping us breathing? What's keeping us going? It's something called a signal. So if this is just a vehicle and I'm moving and I'm living through a signal, then where's this signal coming from, and who am I? If this is just a projection of me, where do I come from, and how am I using this body to utilize space and time? You're going to start to see that we are literally spiritual beings having a human experience. This is nothing but an experience. Nothing but an experience. Think about it. Like, so for instance, the nervous system or your senses. If I took seeing away from you, you'll be blind, right? If I took touching away from you, you couldn't feel. You would be feelless. If I took your eyes away from you, you'd be blind. I took your smell away from you, you couldn't smell anything. I took your tongue from you, you couldn't speak. So, and if I took your ears from you, you couldn't hear. What would you be? If you was right here, right now, and you couldn't hear, you couldn't see, you couldn't do none of these things, you would be in pure darkness. What would you be, and what would your purpose be? What would that make you? Because you're experiencing through your senses. These is through your nervous system. So if you didn't have any senses, what would you be? Anybody? Who said that? Yeah, you'll be nothing but spirit. And this is how you know spiritual things make up physical things. You'll be nothing but consciousness. Be nothing but consciousness. And we can prove this through the science. Let's keep going.
Fat patterning and body dimensions and proportions. In general, blacks have a greater bone mineral density and body protein content than do whites. You
see that? So our bone mineral density is way heavier than theirs. So say if I get on a scale next to a white man, and this white man, I'm only 5'6". This white man's 6 feet. Do you know we'll be the exact same weight, even though I'm shorter and I'm littler than him? Why? Because my bones are heavy. Why are my bones heavy? Because my bones are filled with every mineral there is. Main mineral is iron phosphate, zinc, copper, and gold. Y'all know how heavy gold is? Then comprised with all melanin. Melanin right now is going $464 a gram. Gold is going up too. So everything, and you are a walking billionaire. Why you think we disappearing off these streets like that? You think we disappearing for sex? It's way deeper than sexual rituals. They're literally extracting your organs and pulling melanin and gold, copper, zinc, nickel, iron, selenium from your bodies. Because these things prolong life. These things is what give you spirituality connected to your dipple antennas. That's why you're able to pray. Do you realize every other race can't even pray properly? Because they're not connected to the cosmos. Only you are. Because you have antennas, what we call hair. Every other nation got fur. Look at their hair. That's why they get headlights. Can you get headlights? No. Why is that? Because you have receptors that literally talk to the universe. They don't have that. They're likened onto animals and dogs. And I'm being scientific. Even if you get down into the cellular structure that we're going to go into, let's just get straight to it. Let's finish this off and get to it. So we see that our bone mineral density are way heavier and thicker than theirs, and we require more mineral. If we require more minerals, that means we require more cells. All right, so the body usually deals with typically 75 trillion cells. That's to all the other nations. Guess how many cells our bodies have? Anybody? 100? You've been studying. 150 trillion cells. Ain't that a big difference from 75 trillion cells? So that means we're gonna need more blood. We're gonna need more lymphatics, more lymphocytes. We're gonna need more iron. We're gonna need more electricity. We're gonna need more of everything, because we're dealing with a body that's way more complex in a simple form. And I'm gonna show y'all that. Let's finish reading this. Right here, bone mineral density and body protein content than do whites,
resulting in a greater fat-free body density.
That's why we look better than them. I can start working out right now. I'm not fat, but say if a fat man start working out right now, black man, and get a white man, same size and everything, who is gonna lose weight faster? The black man, according to science, because of what? His fat-free body count. He don't have that many lipids and fatty acids more than white men do, more than these other nations do. And the reason why is because the content of our cellular structure. We are literally different on a cellular level. What's funny back there, y'all? Can y'all share the joke? Y'all better pay attention. Come on.
Additionally, there are racial differences and in the distribution of subconsciousness, fat and length of the limbs related to the trunk.
The trunk, come on.
The possibility of these differences are a result of ethnic.
Ooh, a what?
Ethnicity.
Y'all see that? So we're different because what? Race, right? Look, I didn't make this up. I got the whole citation down here. Y'all see that? Dal R. Wrangler. Look him up. He's going deep into all of this. I ain't making this stuff up. The whole citation is here. This is the information. Go look this stuff up. This comes from white scientists. They're telling the truth about themselves and how they animals and they're not real human beings. They'll tell you themselves. That's why they tell you they're mankind. You'll never hear them say they're humans, because in order to be a human, you have to have hue. Hue is the color of things. Everything's come from black, whether it's white, pink, purple, blue, whatever. It comes from the color black. And so when you mix all these colors together, it's called hue. Well, this is this melanin particle that we finna get into. They lack the melanin particle. Inside their melanin, they have something called sulfur or ammonia. Inside ours, we have selenium. Selenium prolongs life like by light years. When you get into it, they couldn't even put a number on it. They measure it by same thing they do with space and time. If you go to outer space, they say it takes something light years to get there. That's because they don't understand how old it is. With us, it's the same things. You know what I'm saying? The black beings been on this earth for millenniums, many light years, because they don't even know how long we've been here. Because the thing is, we got to understand that Earth was created from outer space too. Earth is actually out of space. Earth is not nowhere sitting on the ground somewhere. It's a part of a planetary system. So what created Earth? And once you see that Earth and us was created from the same elements, that means we was created from this entity created the heavens and the earth. And we have the same particles in it. It's deep, y'all. Wait till we get to it. All right, let's finish this off.
The possibility of these differences are a result of ethnicity rather than the race is also examined. Because most equations that predict relative body fat were derived from predominant white samples. Biological variation between the races of these body consumption indexes have practical significance.
All right, so we see that. Let's go to the next slide. If y'all keep it up so far, y'all getting this? All right, so now when you get into this will show you how different we are. We see Africans, we see Asians, and right here we got the white man, the European. Now this is going to show you that your structure, your actual structures are way different from anybody else's. You want to start reading that?
The traits that vary between skulls with different race backgrounds. Shape of the eye orbits viewed with the front. Africans tend to a more rectangular shape. East Asian more circular. Europeans tend to have an avatar glass shape.
Y'all see it? Avatar glass. Y'all see the rectangular shape and the circular? So even our eye sockets are different, y'all. We are totally different. Let's not get on the jawbone lining, down to the bones. Everything about us is different from every other race. Every other race. Come on with it.
Nasal seals. Europeans tend to have a pronounced angulation. I need my glasses. I can't read my glasses.
Go ahead, brother. Go get them. It's all good.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, you see better now?
Oh, yeah, I can see a lot better now.
Come on.
Pronounce angulation dividing the nasal floor from the interior surface.
Y'all see it? And that's why they nose stick out like that and go back. And that's what Michael Jackson wanted his nose like that. I don't know why, but he did. You see how theirs. So if you look inside the black man, his go straight up and out his nose. It makes our nose more wider. If you look at the Asians, it make theirs more pinch-like. See that he don't even have one. But if you look at the white man's, his go back into his skull. And there's more like monkeys than anybody. So they say that we all come from the Darwin theory. They say that we all come from monkeys. But if you actually look at the anatomy of their bodies, it seems like that they will evolve from monkeys way more than we could ever could. And that's why their lips are so small and thin. That's why they grow fur all on their back. And did you know 90% of them grow tails? Yes, you can Google that right now. Have you ever seen Seinfeld? The short, bald one? He actually got a tail. He went on show, wiggled it for him and everything. He got a tail still to this very day. I think it's like 8 inches now. Yeah, they grow tails. Notice they knuckle expansion. They knuckles expanding like gorillas. Look at a white man's hands. His hands are more wider than yours because they used to walk like this. Like if you look at them, you be like, boy, you can't be human. And it makes sense when the scripture says that it was 2 nations warring in her womb, Esau and Jacob. And he called Esau the red and hairy hunter. Seems why he liked bloody meat so much. And then it says that Jacob, the black man, he was in the kitchen cooking with mama. He liked lentil beans, put some stew on. And that's why we love cooked food. We love stew. We like, mama, give me something hot to eat. You see that? They like to eat theirs raw and bloody. We like stuff hot, heat it up. Put some grease on it. Some healthy grease. Let's do some grapeseed oil. But notice nothing changed. Nothing changed from that scripture. Nothing. When you read it, it's so frighteningly accurate to this day. It's mind blowing. All right, let's keep going.
Africans tend to like a sharp angulation. Asians tend to be intermediate. Nasal bridge.
Come on.
Africans tend to have an arching. What's that?
Quonset
hut shape. Quonset hut shape. Europeans tend to have a high nasal bone with a peaking angle.
You see that? That's why their nose literally look like this. Go up like that. And the reason why is because when they was in the mountain, they had to draw more air in. That's why their lungs are much bigger than ours. We don't need that. We come from the Congos. We in the African jungles. Our nose don't need to be like that because we need to get ours from trees and plants. So our nose don't have to be all the way up in there to draw in air. We get ours from the trees and the plants that's beneath us. So you even see that. Like, it's crazy how your molecular structure actually molds and shapes to the geographical land that you are from. It's impossible that these people are from Africa. So when we go to the land of Israel and we seeing all these white Israeli people saying that they're Israelites, it's like, how? The sun is killing y'all. Y'all the #1 in skin cancer out there. Y'all breathing. Y'all, they are literally suffocating out there. Can't breathe. The food that they eat, they're allergic to. It's like, dude, Africa is killing y'all because y'all not from Africa. But us, we can go, we don't need no sunblock. We are bathed in that sun, get dark, be feeling good, energized. Sun killing them, no. See, they're anti-nature. Nature kills them, but nature prolongs us. Scientifically. The Bible say the same thing, no, ain't this ironic? Let's keep going.
Asians tend to have a low nasal bone with a slight angulation. So nasal aperture. Africans tend to have a wide nasal aperture. Europeans narrow.
And that's why our noses are flat and wide. Notice that. I'm looking at all wide noses down here right now. I literally am. It's kind of funny. Wide noses. Wide noses. But if Michael Jackson was here, because he changed his nose, and notice he had an only different nose like that. Ours point down and it's get wide, or it cuffs in. Theirs go straight up. Asians get smushed in. It's crazy. We can go to the next slide. We ain't got to read all this. So if you look, go back real quick. Can you go back without it messing up? So if you look, John Hawkes, look him up. John Hawkes. All right. Look him up, and he talks about this stuff. All my citations are right here. And he talks about human records, genetics, and evolution. All right. Let's keep going. All right. We can keep going on this one. This is the same thing. All right, now let's get down into the cells. So this is what a cell is. I want to break down what a cell is. So our brother Kelly said that the black man body consists of 150 trillion cells. Well, did you know each cells consist of a U? What I mean by that, if you have a digestive system, you got to go to the bathroom, you got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to urinate, your cells got to do the same thing. You have a heartbeat, guess what your cells have? A heartbeat. You have blood, guess what your cells have? They have blood. So as we look, and we got cells. Cells make up tissues. Tissues make up organs. Organs make up systems. You have 12 of these systems, and then these 12 systems make up a whole body. But all these start from this right here, a cell. 3 billion new cells every day your body reproduce. Every day. Every day your body, since y'all been sitting here, y'all serotonin and y'all stomachs have reproduced. Over 3 billion cells have been reproduced. They died off and new ones came in since y'all been sitting down. So when y'all get up, y'all might go have to pee or go have to boo-boo. Guess what you boo-booing out? Cells. Literally. Or notice when you get in the tub or you take a shower, you see that dark spot around the tub. And your mommy's like, boy, you're dirty, but mama ain't dirty. These are dead skin cells. If I get in the shower and I get in the tub and y'all don't see no dirt, there's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, your body is not absorption. That means your elimination process sucks. And that means you have a lot of toxins in your body. Let's keep going. All right, human stem cell applications. So we got culture stem cells, you got intestinal cells, you got liver cells, you got cardiac cells, nerve cells, blood cells, muscle cells. All these different types of cells that makes up you. Notice all of them look different. Now, we looking at them and we don't know what they is, but these things have eyes, they have ears, they have hair and everything. They just look different than what you would correlate your eyes and ears. They see, they take in signals from the atmosphere, and then they make new proteins. We're going to get it. Let's keep going. All right, so this is what I really want to get into. So we have two different types of cells. You have a prokaryotic cell, which is a single cell organism, and then you have a eukaryotic cell, which is an organism that have a organelle. We started off as single cell organisms. Now we have adapted to our environment, so now we have an organelle. Now the thing is, prokaryotic cell, which is the first cells that came to planet Earth by bacteria. Now it's impossible for this to came with Earth. They say this had to come from outer space. Guess who did body this make up? Ours. Now notice the difference between this. So you have the nucleotide region, you have the DNA, which is deoxyribonucleic acid, right? And then you have the ribosome. We don't even need to get into none of the capsule walls, the plasma, none of that. But notice what's going on with the DNA. So inside of this, it lacks the organelle. Inside of it got the DNA. Now your DNA is what makes up you. This is the blueprint that makes up your body, that says your eyes going to be gray, pink, blue, whatever the color it is, how much hair you're going to have on your head, if you're going to start going bald at 40. All this is already written for you. It really was. All right. Now, this is where we come from. Single cell. Notice it's single. Let's keep going. And these things right here, or these things are hair capillaries. These are actually signals. And that's why your hair is an extension of your nervous system. And once I show y'all this picture, it's mind blowing. Let's keep going. All right. Prokaryotes. It says, or single cell organism that lack membrane enclosed nucleus. Remember, whenever you hear the word nucleus, it means new sun. So the center of it, this is a cell, right? In the center of that cell is the nucleus, or the new sun. Inside the nucleus is the DNA and protein, the blueprint to your body. So say if you lose a hair, or if you lose an arm, or if you lose amino acids, or if you lose instructions in your body, what the body does, it opens up the envelope to the new sun, the nucleus, and it goes inside and they get the blueprint. Okay, this how many amino acids he used to have. Okay, this how much hair he used to have. You see that? So the DNA is the blueprint of you, right? Come on. This is the cell. So now this is how a cell looks. Remember, I said that you are a miniature universe, right? Now, if you look at this, this is the inside of a cell, right? Now, notice this thing. So if you look at the outline and wall of this is called the cell membrane, right? Or the integumentary system. This is the skin and the hair and the signals of the cell. Do y'all got skin? Each one of y'all cells in y'all bodies got skin. Now, look, remember, your body are created with 150 trillion of these that makes up who you are. All right. Now, let's just go. Let's start from the top. So if we start from here, this is the ribosome. The ribosome is these little things inside of this cellular structure. These things are called the reproductive system. What happens with ribosome is your DNA. When you eat something, right, you have something called the gastrotract in your stomach. Inside the gastrotract in your stomach, say if you eat a piece of chicken, you eat that chicken, your molars, which is the first thing of your digestive system. then your saliva glands, which is an alkaline. It's an alkalinity fluid. It helps break this food down. You swallow it down, it travels down, and then it hits your stomach. Well, inside of your stomach, it actually breaks up more than it goes inside your digestive system. It gets in your intestines. Well, you have a digestional tract that actually have blood capillaries there that takes the nutrients from the food, right, and bring it back into the DNA. What the DNA do is take a photography picture of it, right, and then it's called RNA acid. This acid actually go down into the ribosome and produces a new cell. So literally everything you eat, you become, because what you eat makes up the new cells that make up your body. So this will be the reproductive system of the body then, right? Because the ribose actually creates new cells. So whenever you're creating something new, that's called reproducing, right? So you know how you have a reproductive organ and our sisters have a reproductive organ to give birth to babies? Well, this cell have a reproductive organ to give birth to new cells, right? Now let's get into the K-leak ion channels. This is the nervous system. Each of your cells actually have a nerve system. These things right here are nerves, and they're full of electricity. Each one of your cells have more electricity than a single light bulb when it storms. Picture that. Now you have 150 trillion cells, and each of your cells have more electricity than a lightning bolt when it comes from the sky. How electrical are you? How electrical are you? I know y'all been looking, y'all see lemons and limes that can charge up your phone. Have y'all ever seen stuff like that? Look this stuff up. Or in science projects where they plug your phone in a potato and it starts up. These are electrical foods that you need to eat to keep you electrical. Now imagine this. If I took away all your skin, I took away all your cells, I took away the barrier of your cells, and you was left with nothing but this electricity, what would you look like? You'll look like a light beam, because the structure is still going to be the same. You just be full of electric. So then when you get into Corinthians chapter 15, and it talks about our new bodies, body celestial and body terrestrial, and he said that we are lights, and we're supposed to be lights unto the Gentiles. It makes so much sense. We are literally light beings that come from light. Literally. Then you get into the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is literally the skeleton system of the body. These things right here, y'all see these little lines? This is the bone structure. Yes, each of your cells have its own bone structure. Y'all see them? These are the bone structures of a cell. It says forms the framework of the cells is a combination of microtubes and microfragments, solids and liquid bones like structures. So these are bones inside of cells. So not only do the cell have a nervous system, the cells have a reproductive system, the cells actually have a bone system. Now we get into the nucleus. What do nucleus mean? Anybody? Y'all been listening? New sun. The new sun. It's the melanin dot. This is where your melanin come from. This is the melanin. Everything starts from this black dot. When you land down with your woman and you ejaculate, inside of that sperm head is a black dot inside that sperm head. They got a head with a tail. That sperm head becomes a brain. That tail becomes the nervous spine, the spinal cord. So we're literally mature sperm cells walking around here that just grew legs, arms. Literally, I'm gonna show y'all pictures. It's crazy. All right. So it says the nucleus is the melanin dot. It is part of the brain. It's the thinking faculty of man. These actually have brains and they think. Guess what they do? They move in communities. Let cancer come in. They fight like Bloods and Crips. For real. The red blood cells and the white blood cells, they gonna come in. They're like, we got to get this. He gone. He's set tripping. He on the wrong side of the neighborhood. And they will attack this cell and kick him off the block. We see this when for real. Y'all think Google that. Google how the thymus. So whenever you see T cells, it means thymus gland cells. This is right above your chest. This is where your thymus gland is at. And it produces T cells. Whenever you see B blood cells, that means bone marrow cells. This is where your white blood come from. Man, these the two most, look, talking about Navy SEALs, frontliners, they are the first defense. Like something intrudes your body, they get them out. So if you study the way cellular structures and cultures move, whenever something foreign hits the body, these are first responders, and they'll get rid of them. So meaning that they have thinking faculties. Or if they know that they can't win, guess what they'll do? They'll commit self-suicide. They'll kill themselves. And then they'll multiply or mutate. They call this cancer. So cancer is the way of the body trying to correct itself. But they like, oh, we got some dumb niggas here. I'm going to say you're going to die of this. And then if you don't get my chemotherapy, which is $17,000 a shot, or my radiations, which is $22,000 a radiation, and don't let me charge you for the pills. The pills are $5,000 a pop. You gonna die. So then you take all chemotherapy, which kills your good cells and bring putrefaction to the cells, and then the cellular waste gets stuck inside the cell. Now the cell is dying and dividing and multiplying more. So actually, chemotherapy and radiation causes cancer. It's like, how are you going to heal my cancer with cancer? Then you die. And then they tap into your insurance claim, and they get money off of that. See that cancer and HIV and AIDS is an industry. There is not one healed case of cancer, not one, using chemotherapy or radiation. If anybody can show me different, I will get them $500 today. Once we done with class, if y'all can find it before I leave, I will give y'all $500 today. I got the cash right now. If y'all can show me one cancer case that was cured from chemotherapy or radiation, it don't exist. They've been lying to us. All right. Now we got the nuclear envelope. This is the envelope. This actually open and close when either it's susceptible to disease or it need to kick something out, right? This is the muscular system. That's why I open and close. That's why if you working out, it builds up that muscle. So not only do we have a reproductive system in each cell, we have a nervous system in each cell, we have a skeleton in each cell, we have a brain in each cell, we actually have a muscular system. Then it goes on, the excretory system, the circulatory system. I mean, it goes on to the bladder, respiratory, intricum. Even these have an intricate system, glances, and these are your glances. Ain't this crazy? So each one of your cells make up you. Each one of them. Let's keep going. All right. Now we're going to get into the mitochondria. We can keep going. Let's get to the other one because this is talking about plants. We don't need that. All right. Can you read that? Can you see it?
Where did life originate and how?
All right. So look, ain't this the question I first asked and started off? Where do you come from? So this says, where did life originate and how? Let's see. And look, this is scientific database. Y'all can look this stuff up. Come on.
Extraterrestrial. In 1969, a meteorite left over bits from the origin of the solar system landed near Allende, Mexico. The Allende meteorite and others of its sort have been analyzed and found to contain amino acids, the building block of proteins, one of the 4 organic molecule groups basic to all life.
All right, so look, a meteorite came to Earth, right? Crashed in Mexico. Boom. All right. Now, look, this was actually called Project White Sand. Look this up. Project White Sand is when it's a meteorite / spaceship fell, right? And they say when they fell, if you look it up, it's right after this project High Jump came in, where they went over to Antarctica and started searching at artifacts over there. So Project White Sand is these meteorites and all this stuff came and fell. The government ran and rushed to them. Guess what they found? They found tall 9-foot black beings in them with dreadlocks. Look this stuff up. Project White Sand, Project High Jump. Yes, all this stuff. Look, the government been hiding stuff now, but look, it's all open now. You can just read this stuff. And when they asked these white people, these black beings, what they was here for, they spoke English. Ain't that something? They spoke English and said that they was here to return God's chosen people back to where they come from. So when we read this and it says that black people are extraterrestrials, it makes sense. We literally don't come from Earth. Our bodies come from Earth, but where do your spirit come from? Which is what we really gonna get into. So yes, our vehicle was created here. We see that, but if you go to Genesis and you read chapter 2 and you go to verse 7, it says that he created Adam, from the dust of the ground. It says that he breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and then Adam became a living soul. Well, what was he before he was a living soul on earth? And what was this breath, this neshama, this nefesh inside of him that he breathed? He breathed spirit from him. Then when you read scripture and it talks about in Ecclesiastes, when you die, it says that the spirit and the soul separates from the physical vehicle. The physical vehicle, which is the body, go back to the earth, where it came from. The spirit of God go back to the universe, and then the soul waits for a judgment. So you're like, hold on, I'm going back to the universe? And then you actually start reading Ephesians. It says, I have created you. I have chosen you before the foundation of the world. Where was I at before the foundation of the world? Where was I at? Huh? Then you read Jeremiah, it says, I ordained you to be a prophet in your mother's womb. How can you ordain me to be something before I'm even here yet? So we see that these are nothing but vehicles and we come from another intelligent source. So when they say aliens do exist, it does. Do y'all know the Hebrew word for the Most High is Elion? In Hebrew is what it's called, alien, Elion. Look it up. Elion, El-Elyon, am I lying? Yahweh El Elyon. I am the Most High God. It's deep. Let's keep reading.
Okay, the idea of
Where you at?
In the media, I hypothesized that life originated in outer space.
Oof. What did that say? Life originated where?
In outer space.
Notice it's talking about prokaryotic cells, right? Who are prokaryotic cells? Who are eukaryotic cells? Every other nation. So you see, prokaryotic cells came from outer space and ended up here. Now, when God said, okay, let us create man in our image and our likeness, who was this us he was talking to? I'm just saying, who was this us? Then if you go to the word image and you look it up, it's actually talking about your eternal being. You look at the word likeness, it comes from the root word damu. That's Swahili for blood. And that's what they call him. What up, damu? Swoop, damu? That's what. So where is this word coming? And it means blood. So we see the image and likeness is the blood and eternity of Yahweh himself. So we have these same unique creative entities inside of us that comes from the creator father. That's how dope we are. Like, we are amazing people. We just been so dumbed down that we don't realize that. You know how powerful you are? You're literally 150 trillion lightning bolts. That's not powerful. Your light just been dim because you eat wrong all day, you think wrong, you sleep wrong. Everything about us is wrong. Everything about us is backwards. We're supposed to be reading right to left. We actually read left to right. Everything supposed to go on our right hand. We put everything on our left hand. I mean, everything about us has been turned upside down. That's why they say we're in the land of Babylon. Babel, which means confusion, captivity. Everything is backwards. Now, what happened if we start finding our culture and start living this out again? Man, you start doing things you like, man, the car door opened when I was just walking up to it. I don't know what happened. You start blaming other things. I thought I seen something. I'm tripping. No, you weren't tripping. You starting to see into other existence now because you're more electrified. You're becoming in tune with your culture, your nationality, until your God Yahweh. Let's keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because and it's called electric static, right? What is it? Where is this electricity being generated from? You, meaning you're electrical. Yeah. Yeah, to the carpet. Okay, but still, even if that's the truth, which it is, how you're being a ground and a conductor of something, how are you grounding and you're being a transmission of electricity if you're not an electrical being? Huh? Can electricity go through rubber? No, because it's not living. It don't have any electricity in it. Huh? Now let you touch the boat of electricity and put your foot in some water. You're gonna get all right? Because you're electricity, you become a transmission. Nothing can become a transmission if they're not a ground to it. So if you think about it, your pituitary gland is made of copper, zinc, and gold. Your pineal gland is made of carbon, and it produces or secretes something called melanin. Your liver actually grounds your brain. And then you have your blood. Inside your blood, iron phosphate go throughout your blood. Inside your stomach, you have something called nucleic acid. So we got acid, right, which is all right. Then we got alkaline blood with iron, and we got zinc, copper, and gold and carbon. What do this make? Huh? What is all these things found in? Cars, radiators, huh? Things that this is electric. This is what creates electricity. If you look inside your battery, that's why they call it alkaline batteries. What's inside a battery? They say one of the battery cells have died. Why do batteries have cells? You are a battery. And they using you, boy. Told you they put that battery in your back, 9 to 5. You better be at work. You ain't gonna better pay your rent. Huh? 9 to, you better be there. And then you know what? You've been working for 65 years. I'm gonna let you retire. And I'm gonna give you $1,000 a month till you die. Or you can pull your money out of the trust fund and I'll give you a lump sum. Like, I've been working 65 years. What are you talking about? Said we're batteries. You're literally being used. It's enslavement is on a whole nother level than what we even thinking about. Let's keep going. It's deep, ain't it? Yeah. But look, what we got so far, the main thing that we got is that the prokaryotic cell came from where? Outer space. We all got that, right? I'm gonna give y'all the source to this too. Let's keep going. Cause we got it don't even matter. We got the main point. Let's keep going because we got a few slides to get through. All right, this says cellular lifespan and rebirthing process. All right, we get on the side of this. All right, so now we finna go through the cells. Can you read that too, or go ahead?
Colon cells die after about 4 days.
All right, your colon cells die every 4 days. So remember, cells make up systems. These systems make up your organs. So your whole colon replaces itself in what? 4 days, right? Come on.
Sperm cells have a lifespan of only about 3 days.
3 days. Sperm only live for what? 3 days. So every 3 days, the sperm in your scrotum sac replaces itself because they die off and then new cells come back in. Come on.
Your entire outer layer of skin replaces and regenerates itself every 27 days. It's called the stratosphere. Yeah, it's that word.
So check out what's going on though. So look, you see what we see? Your colon cells die every 4 days. Your sperm cells die out and regenerate themselves every 3 days, and your entire layer of skin regenerates itself every 27 days. This is why you see dirt in the tub. This is why you sit down and you see it, or you wearing a shirt. If you're wearing a white t-shirt, you took it off and the collar be black as hell. Like, dang, I'm super dirty. That's not dirt. That's you're sweating and skin cells are getting stuck into your fabric. So you got to go wash them. You better use bleach. That's what they be telling us. Use bleach. I don't use none of that. What we use? Baking soda. All right, let's keep going.
Every blood cell in your body only lives 4 months before they are cycled out and replace itself. This is called cell regeneration.
Cell regeneration. So, yes, you look, sperm cells, skin cells, blood cells. I mean, down to your nails, everything. Let's keep going. Your bones.
Your bones replace and remodel themselves every 3 years.
That's how a baby start off this little, and then you end up 6 feet. You came from a woman this little. How are you that tall? You like, man, them are new bones. So new bones generate, new blood cells generate, new cells. So look, this thing is, if all these things replace themselves and we can look at it, do you look like you look when you was 2? No, you look totally different. Do you look like you look when you was a fetus? No, totally different. So if everything about you replaces itself, even down to your memory, if a catastrophic event happened right now and all of us was here to witness it, and then 20 years later they set all of us down and they asked us what happened, do you know it's going to be 20 different stories, even though all of us, so even your memory changes. So if all these things changes about us, then who the hell are we? Who are you? How do you know you? You see, but look, so it's a key thing that we have to tap into called spirit. Look, the whole point of this whole seminar is going to show you that spirit absolutely do exist. It'll have to. It'll have to. Because what's keeping all this together? What's keeping all you together? Huh? Because look, when them hair cells die out and then they come back in, that whole chin gonna get bushy. Guess what you have to do? Line it back up, right? Replace itself. Everything about us replaces itself. So if everything about us replaces ourselves, then why are we still sick? Shouldn't new cells come in? Huh? If I got colon cancer or prostate cancer, if my colon is going to replace itself in 4 months, shouldn't I have a brand new colon? What's happening there? We haven't stopped the behavior that made the colon bad in the first place. You see that? That's how I'm able to heal everything. I got the concept and the simple understanding that the body replaces itself. So before the cells replace itself, how about I kick out all the bad stuff and stop you from the bad habits and bring you back to our culture? Then 4 months later, you're completely healed of whatever disease it was. I don't care if it's cancer, HIV, herpes, whatever it is. I got testimonies and diagnostic sheets of me healing all of them. Why is that? Because we understand simple stuff like this. Let's keep reading.
During this process, mature bone tissue removes itself, and the skeleton and new bone tissue is formed. It's called bone metabolism, respiration and formation.
See that? So even your very bones are different. And notice whenever the bone replaces itself, it gets stronger and stronger until you hit a certain age, then it get weaker. That's why if you break your leg and that bone grow back, and you go and actually get it checked at by a doctor, it's actually more stronger from the calcium magnesium deposits than the leg you never broke. So your body was generally created to heal itself. Because as according to scripture, Psalms 82:6 said, did I not say that ye were gods? But you would die like men. You will fall like the princes. We got God calling us God in the Bible. We are gods. This ain't no Egyptology stuff. You know, they say they gods all the time. But we got it in our own scripture saying that. John 10:34. Isn't it written that I say that you were gods, but you want to persecute me because I say that I'm the son of God? We are gods. And what gods do? They create. We create all the time through our thinking, through things we say. Nigga, you make me sick, and then you sick. I can't stand you. You get on my nerves. Now you got nervous problems. You make my body ache. Now you got rheumatoid arthritis. Or you angry all the time, producing cancerous cells inside of your body. See, for every dis-ease, there is an emotional and spiritual component to it. We have to understand that. Come on.
Your hair cycles out every 4 years. We are born with 100,000 hair follicles in our head that are pre-programmed to go through our certain growth cycle. Explains much. The typical cycle is about 4 to 7 years. Woo. Even your memories changes. 83% of events that happen in your life, and you think you remember, is changed by your first brain depending on its state, your emotional state and time of the event.
That's why somebody and we see that though when an event happened and they all worked up and you pull them in and the police sit down and they do the interview. Boy, they be everywhere with the information. Everywhere. Then you try to line them up with somebody else and it's a different story. So everything about you change. If everything about you change on a metabolic level, then who are you? Who are we? You can't say you're Hebrew Israelite after this. Oh, okay, so who are you? You're a spirit being. We come from stars, y'all. We finna prove this. Come on. No, just a citation. Okay. Public Library Science Desk Research. They give you the Songs Press 1995 notes. And then if y'all need to take any pictures, let me know if I can pause the screen. That way y'all can go look this stuff up yourselves. Or y'all can just write it down. Because I don't never want y'all to think that I'm coming up with all this stuff by myself. I am researching. Research means I'm going back over somebody else's research. And then they're going back over somebody else's research. Then it was this first person who searched without the and found everything. So we are doing nothing but checking everybody's bodies and notes. And then we come into a conclusion. But like, oh man, this is fact. See that? So don't give me the praises. All this information comes from Yahweh by revelation or through another person that Yahweh gave a revelation to. Come on. All right, what is DNA made of? It says DNA is made of a strand of nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains a phosphate group, a sugar group, and a nitrogen base. The 4 types of nitrogen bases are adenosine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. All right, now let's switch to another one. Let's get into the DNA, then we're going to get back into these precepts. All right, this is the DNA structure. Now let's read real fast. Let's go to Jeremiah. Write this down, y'all. Jeremiah chapter 17. We're going to read 1 through 4. This finna get deep. What time we got to? All right, we got 2. Got an hour and 10 minutes. Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Jeremiah 17. Say 1 through 4?
1 through 4, yeah.
The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron.
So it says the sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, right? So sin is transgression of the law. It's when you break one of these universal principles that Yahweh have given to us to keep us living and healthy, for we can fulfill what we was here to do. We are literally biological weapons of Yahweh. We've been sent here to raise the frequency of humanity. We've been sent here to raise and shine light in darkness. That's what we are created for, right? So it says the sins, the law breaking was written with a rod of iron. A rod of iron means it's permanent. All right, I know what a rod of iron is, what they used to write with. Rod of iron. They used to have a rod of iron with the ink inside of it. It makes permanent things on a piece of paper. That means that we permanently, continuously just mess up. And you see this through generational curses. Grandma had diabetes. Mama got diabetes. Damn, I got diabetes. And it's like, this is not through the bloodline. This is through habits. It's through habits. We all been eating the same thing. You see that? So you see generational curses is passed down through tradition, through customs, through what your grandma taught you. Grandma ate ham hocks and she didn't die. Mama ate ham hocks, she didn't die. That's why I can eat ham hocks. You see what I'm saying? So this is how that go. Let's keep reading.
And with the point of a diamond.
With the point of a diamond. The point of a diamond is what they use for lasers. That means it's permanent. So our sins are permanent upon us. All we do is think about bad things or think the way to get ahead of each other, thinking about how we're going to get each other. We either thinking about sleeping with somebody's wife, thinking about what happened if that was mine. We're envying, doing everything that he created us not to do. Come on.
It is graven upon the table of the heart.
It was graven upon the tables of our heart. The heart in Hebrew is la'ah. That means it's on our minds. So meaning that our imaginations are wicked. Our mindset is wicked. We need to change our mindset. We need to change our cultural thinking. Come on.
And the horns of your altars.
Come on.
So their children remembers their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills.
This is getting into holidays. So it says that not only that, the horns of our altars, we was going to sacrifice, doing blood sacrifices on the altar, right? But we still had sin on our mind. And it says what got us here is by worshiping high trees on groves. What is a high tree on a grove? We put ornaments on them. You put a shining star at the top of it. Then you bow to the tree and you give it gifts. What is that? Y'all know what that is. That's a Christmas tree. Huh? Notice a tree been in the way since the beginning. In the garden, he said, you better not touch that tree or eat from that tree. Then you go here and it's talking about a tree again. Then you get into Jeremiah 10 and it's talking about that you ain't supposed to be bowing down. It says a workman going to a forest, he cut out a tree with the workmanship of an X, he bring it back into his house, he fasten it to the floor that it may move not, then he deck it with silver and gold. What is that? A Christmas tree. Huh? He put the shining star of Luciferian doctrine on it, or what we call the light bearer, or now he's called Kalel, Hashatan, or Satan. Then he deck it with ornaments, and then he gives it gifts. And the first thing in the morning on December 25th, which is not Christ's birthday, Yahushua was born in September. This is a demigod called Nimrod that was born December 25th. And you go and you tell your children to bend down, to praise and worship this tree, and to get the gift that you just gave it, and it accepts the gift. So you're giving the tree a gift, and then the tree or this demigod, this demonic entity, gives the gift to your children. Children open it up, and he's happy. And most of the time, y'all done gave him some philosophy. He believes in Santa Claus or Satan Claus. If you change the words around, it really means Satan. You see that? You see how wicked this stuff is? Who taught us these customs? Who taught us this? Where did these origins come from? Huh? Where did these origins come from? And you don't see Christmas nowhere in the Bible. You see not to celebrate it, but never to celebrate it. You see what I'm saying? So we literally have to change our whole concept of what we reading and what we doing, because this is what's keeping us oppressed and sick. Let's keep reading.
Jeremiah 17:3. Oh, my mountain in the field. I will give thee substance and all thy treasures to the spoil.
Okay, y'all know we used to be kings and queens, right? Gold. It says that our daughters' feet never touched the ground. We had slaves. We had everything. It says that all of our substance was going to go to somebody else. Guess who got all of Solomon's gold right now? The Vatican and the Rothschilds and the British banking. That's where you get the central banking system from. Guess what it's backed by? All gold. That's Solomon's gold. That's King David gold. That's the Knight Templars gold. That's our gold. That's our gold. Did you know you have billions of dollars in bank accounts that got your name on it and you can't even tap into it due to your Social Security? Your Social Security is actually a bank routing number. I looked mine up. I tried to buy something on it and everything. I got called back in like 2 days. You better stop that. I'm going to lock your butt up. Like, how you going to lock me up for trying to tap into my billions of dollars? I'm not lying. Look, I still have my Social Security bank account that goes to the Federal Reserve Bank right now, hooked into my my Amazon app. And every now and then I just give it a go. I press go. I rack up like $20,000 worth of stuff and I give it a go. It'll go through, say it's paid for, then 3 days later, it'll kick it back. Ain't that something? So you have an account that's tied to your name that comes from when you was in birthing, the birthing system. They call it being at sea. So when you're birthed and born, you come through the canal, right? Isn't canal in the ships? You come through the birthing canal, huh? And then you have to dock, and then have to get your manuscript, and that's where you put your print actually on the birth certificate from. You've been at sea this whole time. You are merchandise, according to Revelations 18. You are merchandise. That's why they call it a banking systems. Banks are on rivers, right? Huh? Or they call money a currency. The current is in the water, right? So money is a flow of energy, and you are a flow of energy too. That's why you are merchandise. Guess who speak about this though? The Bible. Let's talk about it right now. Let's keep reading. Jeremiah 17, verse 4.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
So see that? So Yahweh said, because y'all did this, because y'all worshiping trees, and because the diet been messed up, notice we've been eating wrong since we've been here. He said, don't eat of the tree, we ate it. Tell you don't do this, we ate it. We in this position because bad dieting. See, your skin, we digest and eat Not only through what we put in our mouth, but things we hear, things we listen to. We got to remember we are vehicles. Your skin is an absorption. It's not only elimination. We're going to see this. So it says that he's going to discontinue from your heritage. Remember when we first started off, I told you what a heritage was. It was a language. What language y'all speak? English. But we in America. Don't English language come from England? Huh? So we missing our language. What else is inside of it? What else do you inherit? To the land. Didn't we come over here on slave ships? We from Africa. How did we get here? So we lost our land, our culture. Half of everybody got on stuff down here that they didn't create and that didn't come from their own people. We lost that. And our God. Serving white Jesus and all types of stuff. We done lost our God, right? And the love for each other. Our cooking, our food, how we used to sit at tables and eat every single month, every single week, I mean. Our feast days, our traditions. We lost all of that. All that's in our Bible, and we're not doing none of it because we lost our inheritance. So when he said, I'm going to take my inheritance from you, he did. He took our identity. We don't know who the hell we are. When I put up the picture and said, who are you? Everybody was like, let me not answer that question because I don't know. Am I lying? See that? So he said he was going to do that. We reading that in the Bible. We're not reading that out of the Medu Netra. We reading that out of the Bible. The very thing that we all claim we believe in is where I got this whole entire lesson from that we're doing today. Don't y'all think we need to go back through there and slow down? We got to slow down when we're reading that, boy. I'm telling you. Let's keep going.
Discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the language thou knowest not.
Did we know America before the white man came and got us and the Africans sold us and the Arabs sold us? Did we know this place? No, and I'm pretty sure they ain't know the Spaniards, the Portuguese, because it says that we were sent to the corners of the earth. We didn't know where we was going. We all come from Africa. Israel, before that, Sumeria, which is still in Africa. And now we're here. So we see why we're here. Now, the thing is, when that white man came and got us, guess what he forgot to bring with us? Our clothes, our food, our water, our amino acids, our iron, our minerals. And the byproduct of that is what? We sick. We sick. So let's get into why we're sick. Let's get into DNA. So what is DNA? We see that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and it makes up RNA. We already read about the adenosine, the cytosine, the glutamine, and the thymine. Let's keep going. We can pass this up too. I need this for the lecture next Friday. This one too. My bad, y'all. I got all my lectures in one thing. That way I ain't got to do too much work. That's messed up, ain't it? I know. Let's keep going. Spoiler alert. All right. It says, let me get over if I can read this, unless you want to read for me, bro. All right, DNA. Check out what DNA is, y'all.
The instructions within the DNA of a single cell. If reading out will fill a 1,006-page book.
600-page book. So now remember I showed y'all that prokaryotic cell, the single cell, and inside of it was that little bitty string. It says if you unfold that screen, the instructions and the actual information will fill up a 600,000-page book in one DNA strand. Now remember, the body comprised of 150 what? Cells. And each side of your cells, you have this one string, each string. So 150 trillion times 600,000 is what? That's what I'm saying, a whole lot. We wouldn't even try to do that. It's a lot. That's he's saying a lot. I ain't gonna try to put the math. But look, that's how much information y'all got in y'all bodies. Y'all have every language that was ever spoken. Guess what is inside of you? I can't teach you a new language you don't already know. I can't give you a new thought that wasn't already there. Every language you already know. Every catastrophic event that happened is already in your DNA. The true name of the living Elohim is inside of your DNA. Everything that you can ever think about before you was here is inside of your DNA because you was passed down by what? DNA. Notice that. Go back to your fathers. You know, keep going and going. Fathers. All this is passed down through sperm DNA. And this makes up you. So you are actually smarter than your ancestors because everybody before you gave you what they got. All you have to do is unlock these particles. Open the book. I mean, there's 600,000 pages of it. When we going to start reading it? We got to get to know ourselves. We don't know who the hell we are, where we come from. Y'all get this? Y'all better quit acting like this ain't no deep. There's some deep stuff going on here, y'all. Stop it. This is some deep stuff right here. All right, come on.
Each cell is a world brimming with as many as 200 trillion tiny groups of atoms called molecules.
See that? Now remember, these atoms, all these atoms are consisting of protons, neutrons, and electrons. These things are electricity. These things are what makes up your etheric body, or what we call your spiritual body, what the Bible calls your light body. We are light beings, and we literally come from the sun. Without the sun, there would not be no you. You know how important you is? So the sun pulsates, and it kicks out something called sulfur, or sulfate, right? Now, this sulfate, the plants breathe it in. And then it goes into a photosynthesis conversion process, and it gives out oxygen. You breathe in that oxygen, and then your it's called APT, adenosine triphosphate, converts into carbon dioxide, and then you breathe out carbon dioxide. The plants breathe that back in. Then the plants breathe out sulfur, and the sun pulsates and breathes back in the sulfur. You see that? So if you die, if every black man on earth died right now, guess what? There will be no more sun and no more trees, no more oxygen. That's how important you are. That's how important. For every black man that died, a leaf on the tree falls. Literally. Man, what was that movie with Eddie Murphy? And whenever he talked and said a word, a leaf on the tree fell. Do y'all know that's where they got that from? That's scientifically proven. Whenever a Hebrew Israelite dies, a tree dies. You see that we are so codependent on nature because we are nature. But you know, you want to be in the city in the big skyscrapers, working 9 to 5 in the cubicle away from the sun and wondering why you got suicidal thoughts, you depressed all the time. You need calcium. You need sulfate from the sun. You need vitamin D conversion from thymine amino acids. We have gotten out of nature. That's what's wrong with us. Y'all know that's what signature means, to sign over your nature. Signature, your nature. We supposed to be signing this all over this planet. But we got Negroes claiming blocks. I'm from the west side, cuz. Like, we own the earth. What do you mean? I own the earth. What do you mean we from the west side? You want to claim this little bitty spot. Ain't that crazy? But see, if you knew yourself, you wouldn't even make an idiotic comment like that. Huh? We the keepers to this realm. Come on with it.
Our 46 human chromosomes threaded linked together would measure more than 6 feet.
You see that? So your chromosomes, all your chromosomes linked together to measure 6 feet, to be the size of you. So what the chromosomes are, you get 23 from your mother and you get 23 from your father. And these things actually make up something called a phosphate sugar backbone, and they twist into a double helix. This double helix are actually attached by something called amino acids. Well, what's keeping amino acids together is selenium, sulfur, magnesium, copper, gold, all these minerals that we need. These minerals only grow at the abundance that it needs. Because remember, it says that our bone density and minerals inside our bones is more than everybody else's. So wherever we go find this mineral, we need it in abundance. We don't need nothing that's lacking. Guess where these minerals at? In Africa. Grows nowhere else. That's why I get all my herbs from Africa. That's why I'm able to heal so quick. Everybody want to buy herbs from here, and it's lacking. The sun shines different in Africa than the shines out here. The water is way more pure in Africa than it is out here. So the trace mineral content is going to be way stronger. And the amino acids and the chlorophyll from the plants are going to be way stronger. The Mediterranean Sea and the Dead Sea have more salt and sulfur than any other seas in the world. People have gotten the seas lame and came out walking, paralyzed, and floated in there for 30 minutes and came out walking. This is how Dr. Sabi was able to heal with his waters, because his waters came from a thermal volcano that have the same mineral content as the mineral contents that's in the Dead Sea around by Jerusalem. So yes, that's what holy water means. It's set apart. Holy means to be completely set apart, devoted to one's deity. The reason why it's set apart is because they have more precious, powerful minerals than any other water on planet Earth. So of course, if you get in that water, you're gonna come up and you ain't gonna be blind no more if you wash your eyes with it. Of course, you'll be able to feel your legs and got movement and motion again. It's giving you every amino acid and every mineral that you needed, that you lost. You paralyzed, take a trip and go get in some water. These are facts. Let's get it. You done with this? You done reading this?
Yet the cell nucleus that contains them is less than 4/10,000 of an inch in diameter.
You see that? You can't even see that, but it's got that much information in it. What do nucleus mean, y'all? Nucleus. New sun. All right, come on. We can go. We can keep going. We can keep going from there too. All right, sugars. Now we get into the good stuff. All right, sugars. It said, and sugar and salt is the same thing, it's just a different side of chemistry. One is acid, one is base. Base means alkalinity, acid means acidosis, meaning it'll burn you, right? All right, so from there, I want to go to Matthew 5 real quick. Matthew 5. Matthew 5, 13 to 16. Book of Matthew, chapter 5, 13 to 16. Let's get it.
Matthew 5, 6 to 13?
Yep. No, Matthew 5, 13 to 16. And make sure y'all writing this stuff down. And like I said, if y'all need to take pictures of any of this information, please do. We'll tear it for y'all. Now remember, sugar. It's two sides of sugar. They're literally carbon particles. One will be sodium and one will be sugar. Both of these things break down to something called crystallized melatonin or melanin or carbon. Same thing. That's why it says the 5 carbon sugars in DNA. Deoxyribose, which is RNA, and it's going to break down. This is nothing but melanin that converts into amino acids. See, they put all these scientific words on them to keep you dumbfounded. But if you start looking up the chemicals, you be like, hold on, carbon and sugar. You look up the chemical compound for melanin, you be like, melanin is sugar. You look up the chemical compound for salt, you be like, salt is sugar. You be like, hold on, everything is about sugar. That's why I'm so addicted to sugar. They just giving us the wrong sugar. They're giving us the wrong. We're made out of this stuff. Check this out. Read this. So remember, salt and sugar are what? Same thing, which break down into melanin particles. What I just say? Dang, all right. She got it. You got it. Okay. Let's get it.
Matthew 5, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
You are the salt of the earth.
Oof. See that? God just said that we're the salt of the earth. Didn't we just read that through the science? We in the Bible reading the same thing. We the flavor to this deal. Notice that. That's why all people want to do hip hop. You got Chinese people rapping. You got this rapper named Lil AK from China. Chinaman talking about catching bodies. You a Chinaman talking about catching bodies with gold chains on? Huh? Everything we do is better than everybody. We run faster than everybody. We jump faster than everybody. And we have something called this rhythm to us because melanin is a conductor of electricity, but it's a pulsating rhythm called the circadian rhythm. Look it up, circadian rhythm. But we know how to dance. They can't dance worth the damn because they lacking melanin. Or we like to put all these herbs on our food. Our food have to taste different because melanin does that to you. See, melanin is on our taste buds. So we taste food greater than anybody. That's why they food is so bland. They can't taste that spiritual saltiness it needs. You know what I'm saying? And those, we don't need no measuring book. We just, that ain't it. That ain't it. And we put a little bit more, like, that's it. That's it. They on there, they like, hold on, 3 grams of, they are. Why is that? See, melanin is very, very, very unpredictable. They're predictable. That's why you get pulled over. Most likely, if you say the wrong thing, you're going to get shot or locked up. Melanin is not like that. We can predict them. They can't predict us. And that's why they're so afraid of us, because we are gods. Lowercase G-O-D, of course, because we're not the God. Okay, but we are gods, but we're going to die like men. So let's read that.
But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? You
see that? So if we the salt of the earth and we have lost our flavor, then what are we calling ourselves salt for? What's the point of you being here? Huh? If we are light beings, but we are connecting and we are fraternizing and we're part of the darkness, what's the point of you being here in this existence? You were created to be light unto the world. That's why you have the electrical body. So if you're not being electrical, what's the point of you being here? Come on.
It is therefore good for nothing, but to be cast out.
To be what?
To be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
Who want to be like that? That's what's going on now. And we cast out of our land and we are trodden under the foot of white men. That look, we're the only people where you go into our neighborhoods, you're gonna see a China place. In St. Louis, we call it the Chinaman. You're gonna see a Chinaman on the corner. You're gonna see the Arabs selling you Brazilian hair that ain't or Indian hair. You're gonna go to the store, they got every fabric that ain't from your homeland. You go into the convenience store, they got malt liquor, which is full of sugar. And they got cigarettes. And don't go to the backyards. You're going to have AK-47s from Russia. I ain't never been to Russia in my life. How do I got an AK-47? Huh? A Japanese SK. I ain't been to Japan. How do I got cocaine from Colombia? I ain't never been to Colombia. See, our neighborhoods and our communities are being targeted because the moment you wake up and you start focusing on yourself is the moment you take back what you own. And what you own is this earth. Yahweh created it and gave it to us to possess. It's called the rites of passage. Whoever been here the longest inherited all this. And we are what? Prokaryotic cells, which means we came what? Second or first? We came first. So meaning this earth is whose? Ours. So that's why as soon as you born, they like, I got to put this nigga under contract. Let's get that birth certificate. We're going to generate a social security number for his bank routing number. And let's even go further than that. Let me get his footprints, his signature, and I'm going to put some black carbon on there, and I'm going to put that on the stempler plate. Let me get his palms of his hands too. And they sell you off. Now you on the stock market. And soon as he's able enough, we're going to put him to work. And guess what? We're going to pay him out of his bank account that he don't even know exists. That got billions of dollars in it. But I'm just going to give him 2% of it. Yeah. And if he do good enough, I'll probably give him, he'd make $46,000 a year. When you got billions in your account. This is slavery at an all-time high. Just because we ain't in whips and chains no more, don't mean we ain't in whips and chains, y'all. This became mental. And then they keep you dumbed down through radiation, the food you eating, through sex, through hormones like estrogen. That's why you see all these gay men out here. Estrogen levels high. Testosterone just completely gone. And then they feed that to the women. All this testosterone. So now she running the household. She wearing the big drawers. All this role switching. Do y'all think this is a coincidence? No, if you go down and you start reading all, you be like, man, it's a diabolical plot to erase my blackness. To erase my blackness. What's going on? But we reading it. Then he say he was going to discontinue for our heritage. Then he say we was the salt of the earth. Then he say he was going to get us with blasting and mildew, with pestilence, with fever, with consumption, with inflammation. Then he say that you will serve your enemies in a land that you never knew of. Slavery by way of ships, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Ain't this what we reading? And isn't we proving this with science? So who are we? We are gods. Let's keep going.
Ye are the light of the world. The city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
All right, so look, hold on. It says, we are the light of the world. Isn't we light beings? Come on.
Neither do men light a candle, but put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick. And it is given light into all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men.
He said, let your light what?
So shine before men.
So what we supposed to be doing? We supposed to be stunning in front of these heathen nations. They supposed to be looking at us and be like, you get the right of way. And y'all see that now. Yeah, he's super scared of us. That's why as soon as they pull one of y'all over, before they even get up to the car, gun be out of hip. Because you unpredictable. You melanin. They don't know. And then they feel you have something called biofilms, right? Through receptors where they feel your aura miles before you even get to them. Miles. Like, I don't know what's coming, but something coming. Then you walking in the bar. It was you the whole time. That's how felt you are. That's how, because you got the presence of God in you. You just don't know it. That's how you able to just look at somebody and they be like, I don't even want, like you said, why ain't nobody talking to me about my fringes? They be looking at me like, I don't even want no problem with this dude. It's something that you possess in you that's just automatically dominant. And that's melanin. Melanin is a dominant substance. It's the only thing you cannot break or destroy. Melanin. This deal can take the shape of anything like water. If it go together in molecules, you can't bend it. Like melanin is something else. And you have this in every single one of your cells. Because remember, the nucleus of the cell is called the black dot. The black dot is the melanin. That's where the brain is in the cells. You have 150 trillion of these things in your body. That's just on a solidified level. There's something called gasified melanin that you breathe in. You got liquefied melanin that's in your bloodstream. We're gonna read about it. So let's stop there right there real fast. It says sugars. The 5-carbon sugar in the DNA is called deoxy. The reason why it's called deoxyribose is because it don't have any oxygen in it. Deoxy, meaning it have no oxygen. But it says while in RNA, the sugars are ribose. Ribose have an oxygen backbone to it. You see that? So we are made of all living things and we are made of all things that are just very solid. All right. It says these two are very similar in structure, It says with just difference. The second one, carbon of the ribose, bears a hydroxy group, meaning it has oxygen, while the equivalent carbon of deoxy has hydrogen instead. See that? So you're made of some of the two chemicals in Earth: hydrogen, nitrogen, or what they call the CHO arrangement, which makes up carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And the Chinese call it the Cho or the Chi. The Indians call it the prana or the kundalini. You see that? The Egyptians call it the Amen Ra, the energy source. We call it Yahweh or Yahweh, whose only begotten son, Yahweh, who they call Jesus. The science is the same. All this was taught by Abraham. See that? Let's keep going. And you can finish that off real fast. Did you read 16 out?
No.
Go ahead.
Let your light so shine before men that when they see your good works, you glorify the Father which is in heaven.
Hallelujah. All right, come on. All right, so look, these are the amino acids. Remember, so you have amino acids that actually makes up DNA. So you have something called chromosomes, and these chromosomes, you get two of them, 23 from the mother, 23 through the father, right? These chromosomes, they wrap in a helix, right? What's keeping them together is amino acids. So what I want to focus on is the essential amino acids. All these ones are important, but this is what we need to really focus on, because all these things are actually melanin. That's why they're essential. We need these to keep everything going. So if y'all could take a picture of this, please. So for now, when y'all eat food, make sure that the essential amino acids are in y'all food. And these are mostly in fruits. The red circle. Because look, the blue circle, this is what feeds herpes, arginine. You got herpes, you have to get off the arginine. Guess what you need for herpes to get it going? Lysine. We're going to get deep into these in another one. So these are essentials. So the main one I really want to talk about, though, is the lysine. And, of course, the tritryptophan, because that's melanin conversion. This is the only way you can get vitamin D is by going in the sun. All this vitamin D supplement pills is bull crap. Ain't no such thing. The only way to get vitamin D is literally going into the sun, and the sun actually convert tritryptophan into calcium, and calcium raises something called vitamin D sulfate inside the body. That's it. Can't get it from no supplements. They're lying. All this, get you some vitamin C pills. There's no such thing as that. You get these things from the elements. Let's keep going. You can pass that up. All right, so now we finna get into the chemical melanin. Let's see how much time I got real fast. All right, going right at the mark. See, I'm moving along. All right, so we finna get into Kemet. Now, the thing is, when y'all think of Kemet, y'all think of Egyptians, right? So Kemet just means to be black or from black land. So I want to break down what Kemet is before we get into this. So Kemet in ancient Egypt, the country's name was Kemet or Kemet or Kamat. It says this name holds a reference to what? The black and fertile soil. It says that are lying in the Nile floodplains. So Kemet is just talking about a black soil that's in the river. So whenever you see the word Kemet, it means black soil, black land. When you created from the black soil, the black land, Adam was created from the dust of the ground, and then he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and Adam became a living nefesh, a living soul. All right, so I'm not talking nothing about Egyptology here, y'all. I'm talking about the name and what it means, okay? Let's keep going. So we see that Kemet means black soil. Come on. All right, it says the meaning of the term Kemet, spelled KMT, because remember, vowels didn't exist back then. Everything came from the Hebraic language. We didn't have vowels. All right. It says mean land of the black people. So not only do it means black soil, it means black people, right? It says some Egyptologists, those who went to school before the 1970s, or people who cited those outdated sources, believe Kemet means black land. Here go all the sources. Let's keep going. All right. Now we get into the word coal. All right. Because remember, they call it chemical. The chemistry. I want to study a chemical. Well, Kemet means black or it means soul. Let's see what coal means. Stuff get deep. It says ancient Egypt used a form of eyeliner called coal. This is where you get COAL from. Man, bring some coal, dog. We finna start up the barbecue grill. Notice coal is black like us, full of melanin and carbon. See where they getting their words from? These bastards are slick, ain't they? Tell him, boy. Hey, this white man ain't no boy. It's time for us to start studying him. We need to start studying the white people because they study us. Look what they doing. You know what chemical mean or chemistry? It means the study of black beings. That's what chemistry means. Biology, the study of the actionary reactions of black beings. It's all about studying melanin. All they've been doing is studying us for years. There is nothing else to study. Name any type of medical group or medical study, and we can break it down. It's going to be about us. Biology, chemistry, anything. Archaeology, guess what they digging up? Ancient black artifacts. They're studying us. We ain't got no research field studying the Crocodile. Why is that? But they've been studying us since we've been here. Because they got thinking tanks. We got to keep them niggas oppressed. Because if they wake up, it's going to be a problem. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Now, check this out. Ancient Egyptians used a form of eyeliner called kohl to enhance their eyes. That's why you see the ancient Egyptians, they got them little cat eyes. All right. It says this replicated the appearance of the sun god, kohl. All right. Was made of powder autonomy, burnt almonds, black copper oxide, and brown orchard. It says it was applied in small sticks called a kohl stick. All right. So now we got the word chemical. Now, what do chemical mean since we put it together? Black what? Black people, yeah. Really, yeah. Or black substance or black mineral. And the only people that got this black mineral in them called melanin is us. Let's keep going. All right. Kohl. We finna get the Arabic side. It goes deep. The same kohl. It says is an ancient eye cosmetic traditionally made by grinding stibnite. It says for similar purposes of what? Charcoal used in mascara. So a kohl is literally charcoal. So chemical is the study, the study of soil or black soil that we call charcoal or carbon. Well, who are carbon beings? Us. I see nothing but carbon, different shades. Remember that black family I showed? One was dark skin, one was light skin, one was bright skin. All of them were black though, right? Because God created us in many different shades. So chemical is the study of us. See how they've been lying to us? They've been studying us for all these years. I want to go to chemistry. You've been majoring in chemistry. Don't even know you've been studying your own self. You know that blew my mind when I figured that out? I was like, damn, I missed the mark. I've been studying chemistry for 5 years. The whole time it was talking about me. Blew my mind. But everything started making sense after I figured this out. Notice how they hide things through languages, though. You see that? That's why it's important to learn other languages and get into the etymology of root words. It'll blow your mind what this stuff means. All of it back to y'all. All of it. To us. Let's keep going. All right. Now, since we understand what chemical means, we know that chemical means carbon. We're going to get into melanin because that's all this chemical substance is. All right. So all this chemical substance is. Before we get to it, let's pull Romans. Romans 3, 1 through 3. Let me show you how important melanin is. Romans 3, 1 through 3. 1 to 3, I mean. And y'all notice how that didn't have nothing to do with Egyptology? Whole time they got you Kemet. Kemet mean Egypt. No, Kemet is a study of the black man from a black land. Romans 3, 1 to 3. And if y'all getting some understanding so far, let me know. Everybody good? Okay, all praises. All right, once you get there, you can start reading.
Okay. Romans 3, verse 1. What advantage hath thou Jew, or what profit is there in circumcision?
Okay, so it says, what advantage have the Jews or the Yahudim, or what we call the Hebrews? So what's happening is they asking, why are we so important? What's our advantage as being Hebrew Israelites, right? What is our advantage? Well, y'all hearing about all this black magnificence, right? And I mean, if you got any type of brain, you be thinking, okay, nigga, get to the point. What is the point of all this? How is this going to benefit me? I still working a 9 to 5. I still got to go clock in when I leave from here. So what is all this information? How this going to help y'all? You got the answer. Look, the answer's in this book.
Much every way.
He say, what? In much every way. What do you mean? How this advantage y'all? It advantages us in much every way, chiefly. Meaning first thing, come on.
Chiefly, because unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Unto us was committed the oracles of God. Do y'all know what the oracle is? That's the mouthpiece. That's the one who's in connection with the universe. You see that? Come on.
But what if some do not believe?
It says, so what if some don't believe this fact that we're talking about right now? What if some just be like, yeah, whatever. Them are niggas. Them are African Americans. Them ain't no damn Jews. The white people over there in Israel, the real Jews. What God say?
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Just because they don't believe everything we teaching right now, is this going to tear down the information? What God say?
God forbid.
Meaning, hell no. God forbid. That ain't got, no matter what anybody got to believe, this information is true. This ain't going to change nothing that's in that book, and it's not going to change the very information that they discovering about themselves. We're the oracles of God, meaning that we're the mouthpiece to Yahweh, meaning that we're the spokesman for this universe. All this black, these stars, you see all this black around? Let me get my pen out. Hold on now. See all this black stuff? That is melanin. That's why it's so dark up there. That is you. That is you. The closest thing into studying us is to studying the black holes. Studying black holes in the universe. A scientist said that. He said it blew his mind. He never seen nothing like it. He said he studied the pineal gland and it had the orbit of the sun. Our pineal glands. He said he studied our pituitary gland and it had these specks on it. And he said when he checked the minerals from it, he don't know what's the origin of it. He said it had to come from outer space. Then we start reading about prokaryotic cells, and it says what? Prokaryotic cells had to come where? From outer space. But we would be earthlings so bad. Want to be earthlings, be fleshly. Everything's just so sensory to us. We don't want to check into nothing spiritual, nothing biological. All we worried about is fight, flight, sleeping, having sex, and eating. That's the reptilian brain. That's called survival motives. We're beyond that. That's what cavemen do. That's why all they do is fight, go to war, still kill, have sex, reproduce, have sex with each other, sex with their other kin animals. BC, if you actually study them people, they are not a people. They're not a people. Matter of fact, go to Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40:17. He said it.
You want to finish out four first?
Yeah, go ahead and finish out 4. My bad.
Okay. God forbid. Yea, let God be true, every man a liar.
You see that, lady? Y'all be true and every man a liar. Now go to book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 17. And look, I'm not making none of this stuff up. This is all in the scripture. Isaiah 40, verse 17. I said chapter 17, didn't I? I'm going on. Y'all call me. Good one.
Ready?
Yep, ready.
Isaiah 40, 17. All nations before him are as nothing.
What he called them other nations?
Nothing.
He said they're as nothing. Look, matter of fact, what?
They are counted as less to him than nothing.
He said, look, not only they are nothing, they are counted to me less than nothing. He just said that we was the oracles of God, though. You see that? You go to Amos 3, he said that he don't know no other nation on earth. For all the families of the earth, I have not known. I have known you, chosen house of Israel. He said, but because of that, the punishment gonna be on y'all head. You see that? You go to Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showed this word unto Israel, for he have not shown any other nation. David said, praise ye Yahweh, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Bless the name of God. Like, do y'all realize how important we are? So why we treat ourselves like we nothing? Why we eat the way we do? Huh? Why we so unhealthy? Why we talk about each other behind our backs? Huh? Why don't we love one another? Y'all literally light beings and we treat each other with darkness. And we wonder why we sick. Read it again.
All nations before me are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and vanity. And vanity.
They vain, meaning this emptiness. They're waste. We can stop there right there. Now check this out. So I want to really get into melanin. All right, so melanin, remember melanin meant what? Chemical, right? What did chemical mean? Anybody? Black, the study of blackness, the study of this carbon substance that's in our body. All right. It says the chemical, key to life. It says it's the only molecule that condenses sunlight. Can't nothing else do that. Melanin takes sunlight and condenses it and bring it into this form. So you're literally walking pieces of the sun. Literally. That's why you do better when you're out in the sun. Notice and look, it's a study that was done for people that went to Alaska, black people. They did a study on them because it's only sunlight for 6 months, then it's completely darkness for 6 months. And the suicidal rate went up so fast. They started blowing their brains out, started having sex with animals. They started acting like cave beasts because they lacked the sun for 6 months, showing you that black people needs the sun. And remember, we talked about how we breathe out carbon dioxide, the plants breathe it in, then the plants breathe out sulfates, and the sun breathe that in. You see what I'm saying? So this is the only structure that can condense sunlight and bring it into a molecule to keep us charged up, to keep us going. It says the abstract and material substance that synchronizes your etheric and physical body to the universe. It's called cosmic consciousness. This is what you think you're doing when you're praying. When you're praying, you have something called dipple antennas between the layers of your skin and your skull that they call it finite hairs. And it literally points into the cosmos. And when you speak, it's called abracadabra. You create what you speak. So that's why you're like, man, Yahweh answered my prayers. Yes, he literally did. You spoke to the universe, you put out a certain vibration, and it came back. We're the only people that can do that on that magnitude or on that level. Because how can you pray like that and connect with the universe if you lack melanin and you have no dipple antennas? They don't even have this stuff. They don't have receptors or signals. Only we do. So this really defines the word human being. Because remember, hue mean what? Color. Being is a thinking faculty of man. So in order to be human, you must have hue and you must think civilized. You look at any other race, they're not civilized at all. Matter of fact, they put us in slavery for we can go to each state and build up civilization. Notice that everywhere we went into slavery, we built up the place, right? That's how much they need us because we have this right here. All right, let's get into it. So melanin breaks down into 4 things. We have something called cosmic or etheric melanin, and says this is made of gases, substances such as nitrogen oxide and carbon oxide. This is what makes up this, right? That's gasified melanin. Then you have something called human melanin or neuromelanin, all right, or melanin. It says made up of millions of fractal crystals called magnetites that forms 12 clusters in your brain. This is where you get the 12 disciples from, because you have 12 melanated clusters at the ganglia nerve at the top of your spinal cord, right? And then you have something called the CF fluid, or what they call the Christos, or what they call Christ. And it crucifies itself at the 33 vertebrae of your spinal cord. And then it goes into your brain, and then it sets off this neurons, and then they call this the heavens. Then the heavens break up into 4 parts. Your brain breaks up into 4 parts, right? You got 4 ventricles, the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. You have 4 rivers or spinal fluids that go through there. So when you read Genesis and it talks about this land that have 2 trees, the first tree was the tree of life, good, the tree of life, right? That's the pineal gland. Then you got this other tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's the pituitary gland. Then it talks about the 4 rivers, the rivers of Euphrates, Gishon. These 4 liquid substances that ride around in your brain. And then it talks about Christ. Didn't he die at 33? Well, why do you have this ointment literally called anointed oil called Christos or the Christ? And it literally goes spinal fluid, and it goes up and down your vertebrae. And every time it gets to the 33 vertebrae, it executes itself. Then you read in the Bible, it says that Christ was executed in Golgotha, which means the place of the what? Skull. How is the Bible breaking down to the anatomy of my body? Huh? Didn't he say the kingdom of God is within man? He said the kingdom of heaven don't come by observation. What are you looking up for? He said the kingdom of God is within, is amongst you, is inside of you. We have to really start realizing that. All right, so we got the human melanin, and these are magnetite crystals. Whenever y'all look up this word magnetite crystal. Write this down, y'all. It's MAGNETITE. You have millions of them inside of your brain. You have millions of them inside of your brain. These things actually keep you in connection to everything. And that's the reason why you get so sick, because melanin is a nurturer. It likes to absorb things. So radiation coming, guess what? Melanin gonna be like, I need to pick that up and convert it to something else. You see that? That's why you smell things so good, because you got melanin sensors. That's why you hear so good. You have melanin in it. That's why you see color the way you do. Your red shirt, a white person would never be able to look at your shirt and see the red in it that I do, because I have melanin in my irises. And this is where irises come after. Iris, Isis, another Kemetic goddess or a chemic code. So you see, when you get into Kemetic science, it's breaking down the anatomy of the body. So you get the ammonia from. Amen Ra. Like everything about this Phoenician language is all throughout the doctor's language. Like, ain't that something? It's crazy. Now check this out. We got botanical melanin made of chlorophyll. The only difference between you and the plant is you have magnesium in your blood and the plant have chlorophyll. It's the only difference. Plant have a nervous system, have a brain, have sex, it boo-boos, it pees, and it moves. You know, a plant moves 2 inches every 2 years. Exactly, move. Plant something, go out 2 years later, it's gonna be slightly different. You be like, I didn't put you there. How you get over there? So it walks, it moves, it communicates with each other, they have sex. That's why they depend on us and we depend on them. All right, you got melanin, you got animal melanin. There's a called pheomelanin, lacks the neuron in the eel. So they don't have neural or eel melanin, and it's full of sulfur. Now, the only people that come close to animal melanin is who? Caucasians. If you check this inside of our melanin, or of our, what the Bible calls the blood covenant, you check the inside of our blood covenant, guess what you find? Selenium. One of the lifelong structures ever. You check the inside of theirs, they got sulfur and ammonia. And that's why ammonia, if you heat ammonia up, it freezes. If you freeze ammonia, it starts to boil. And then it starts stinking. It smells like a wet dog. That's why they smell like wet dogs when they get too hot. See, and that's why in the middle of summer, they have on a fur coat. But in the middle of winter, they have on shorts and a tank top. Because they got, for real, they got ammonia and they got sulfur inside of their blood and inside of their melanin. Ain't that deep? All right, so this is the chemical makeup of melanin. First thing we see is what? Carbon. Remember, carbon, sugar, and salt are the same thing. 18 carbons, 10 hydrogens, 2 nitrogens, and 4 oxygens. That's the chemical makeup of melanin. If y'all want to write this down, write it down. Look it up for yourselves. C18, H10, N2, oxygen 4. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right, here go a plant. This comes from Dr. Lilela Africa Research. This is not my picture. This is his. And it's showing you how a plant starts off looking just like a human. Y'all see that? The roots are the legs. The actual limbs are the limbs. You see that? Only difference is, even got organelles like us. Only difference is we actually have blood, magnesium in our blood, and they have chlorophyll in their blood. So if I need to actually reboot my body, do I need to be eating meat or do I need to be eating plants? Plants. Because guess what your meat eating? Plants. Notice in the Bible, when you get to the dietary law, you're only allowed to eat meats that eat what? Plants. So me, I figured out how to heal. Cut out the middleman. Why do I got to eat the meat to get to the plant when I can just eat the plant? In order for me to heal, I have to stop you from eating meat. I've never healed nobody eating meat still. Ain't this crazy? Showing you what they doing to our meat is something totally different than how it was back in the biblical days. You're not even eating meat no more. You're eating things made up in a laboratory. Let's keep going. All right, now we're finna start getting into it. This is an actual sperm head. Remember I was talking about that black particle in the middle of the sperm head? Was called melanin. Y'all see that? What was it called? The nucleus, the new sun. Y'all see that? This is actually a sperm head, the head of the sperm. Y'all see the melanin dot, and then y'all see the tail. What happens is the tail wraps around the head and it takes this energy from the nucleus or the melanin. And from there, limbs are growing. The nervous system grows. Now you have an embryo. Then from there grows the fetus. Then the fetus grows a baby. And then 9 months later, you're giving birth to a human being. Started from what? This melanin particle called the nucleus. Notice that this in the nucleus envelope is the only black thing on this picture. Let's keep going. You see that? This is an embryo, a human embryo. Check out this go. So notice what it's all faced upon. There go the, y'all see the black dot? Everything was curled up on this and then it comes out. That's deep. Look at the placenta cord. Look at the forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. There go the black dot. Let's keep going. All right, once a year, guess what they do? All the collective United Nations scientists, they come together and they talk about you. Guess who not invited? Our black butts. Look, they get together once a year and they study our blackness. They study our melanin, but we not invited. We not invited. Ain't this some crazy stuff? You can even go on here right now and you can sign up for their society members, meetings, bulletins, researches. Ain't that crazy? That is mind-blowing. Look at these men, and they sit here and they studying you. They literally studying your melanin. That's crazy. Let's go to the next page. All right, this is the next page on their website. What do they say, y'all? Pigment cells and what? Melanin. What are you studying? Pigment cells, melanin, and my melanin for? Melanoma. This is part of the same page. You see that? And then look, you can register and renew your forms, and you can get any information you need about melanin in black people. Every year, once a year, Great Britain, London, everybody get up and talk about us. Everybody, and you ain't invited. That's how important you are. And they talk about you. Look this stuff up. Now look, you can sign up. It's like $300 just to get a few papers. But look, try to get one of them tickets to go to that meeting. Yeah, all right. I'm for real. Look at this stuff. The 12th and the 14th of September. Welcome to what? Where is that at? That's in Germany. And every year they move it. It's going to be in London next year, Paris, Rome. You can't even pay. Nah, that boy's let your black butt come up in there. It's going to be you probably be disappeared. They're like, what happened to Kelly? Hey, for real, man. Let's keep going. All right. Now, this is an immature sperm cell. Remember, the black dot is in the middle of it, right? All right. So it takes 9 months for this to develop into this. This is a brain, which is this right here, in the nervous system, which is the tail of the immature sperm cell. So a sperm cell literally becomes a complex developed nervous system. Did y'all know that? Ain't this deep? All starting with the melanin particle. Now, guess what never leaves? That brown dot in the middle. You know why? Because that brown dot is the pineal gland that produces and secretes carbon or melanin. It's even in your sperm. So when they say you your daddy's son, you literally are your daddy's son. You are. Literally. Let's keep going. This is the nervous system once it grows and gets all his arteries and stuff to him. So this is really you. We all, she look good, she look fine. Ooh, look at that behind. But this is really what she looked like. Everything else grows to protect this. You know why? Because this connects to your spiritual body. Remember I was saying if I take away all your skin and what's left, and we all said nothing but lightweight particles, it's generated by this right here. This is you. This is where all your senses is connected to. Notice this look like a tree. Don't have no leaves on it, but it's shaped like a tree, right? That's the real tree of life. Right there. Let's keep going. That's you. Look at them bug eyes. All these are sensory senses. These are antennas. These are the dimple antennas. Y'all see them? These are what you pray with that goes out into the universe. Boy, that's an ugly picture. Man, now imagine if we walked around like this. There would be no jealous people. We would have no issues with the outer cup. I'm telling you, boy. It'll literally be like, what do you have to offer? It won't be she look good. I'm finna take her out. It'd be like, what you got? Let's talk about your character. That's the only thing that matters when you looking like this. For real. Let's keep going. Now, I want to show y'all this. The same thing, the picture's turned backwards. Look at all of these nerve-ending pathways. These are called melanin meridians. Melanin, liquefied melanin, they're called neuromelanin transmitters. Send messages through the whole body through here. Y'all see them all go through each teeth. Notice the hair on the head. So the hair on your head is connected what? To your nerves, to your brain. So if you can't grow hair, you have a nervous system problem. These are the hairs, y'all. You didn't even know it looked like that. You thought if I sketch your hair, you just be bald. No, this is connected way deeper than what you think. See that? Come on. All right. This isn't real. I'm gonna let you. This is from the Matrix, y'all. Some of the deepest stuff. And look, if y'all ain't never gotten to the Matrix after waking up, watch it again. Mind-blowing stuff. Mind blowing. Read it out, my brother.
This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, taste, and see, then real is simply electric signals interpreted by your brain.
That's the only thing that's real. Electric signals interpreted by your brain. Let's go back a picture. This is what's telling you everything is real. Receptors. You looking at something, it's not even an image. It takes a photogram, a vibration through light, goes to the back of your brain, upside down, and then you project it outwards. So I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking inside of my brain. Where's the light coming from? It's completely dark inside of my brain. There's no lights inside of here. It's completely dark. So how do I see light? Through my senses. This is a literally fabricated universe. I am literally a spiritual being having a human experience through a computer program. That's it. If I take away your senses, let's go back to what we just read. If I take away your feel, if I take away your taste, your smell, and your eyes, then what will be real to you? What would you be? That's what I'm saying. So like when you start reading in Colossians 2, and he said, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ, that he thought it not robbery to be equal with Yah. That's because we are all a part of him. That's why he said change in nature, put on a new body. Because we are all one consciousness, just moving around as individuals. That's all we are. We are literally Christ experiencing himself in 7 billion different ways. That's it. Who are you? Yeah, y'all gonna be questioning some things tonight, I'm telling you. Let's keep going. Let's break down the 12, showing the 12 disciples, talking about the brain, talking about the serpent brain. That's from my other lesson. Let's keep going. That one is too. Sorry, y'all. That one is too. All right, now let's get to the pineal gland. This is the pineal gland. It's in the third ventricle of the brain. That's why they call it the third eye, because your brain breaks down into 4 ventricles. And it's all got this water-like Euphrates river, as I call it. The scientists call it, cerebral spinal fluid. I call it the Euphrates and the Gishon River. And basically, this thing is your third eye. If you can awaken it, it literally can see into other realms, the spiritual realms. I do it all the time. You literally can see beyond your senses, because you are beyond your senses. This is nothing but a vehicle, an avatar. Just like going to outer space, you got to put on a spacesuit. Well, this is your spacesuit for Earth. Now, this is your spacesuit for Earth. Where are the real you at? And this is a projection of computer simulation, then where are you? And look, check this out. You know what's crazy? When I realized, I said, dang, this is all a game, and all of this is a computer simulation. And I chose to write in my program a 9 to 5. I said, damn, what type of, if I can rewrite the code, I chose to still be a slave. I need some rebooting, some rethinking to do. That's what I did. That's what I'm saying. Just think about it, though. And if you are the writer of this code, if everything you do is a part of your senses, you literally control the coding. So and this lets you know about what's happening to you in your spiritual realm. Why are you doing this? You see what I'm saying? And this is a question we're going to have to start challenging ourselves. Like, why did I choose that? Everything that happened in your life is because of you, not because of nobody else. The woman you got, the children you made, the decisions, whether you got criminal background, it's nobody's fault but yours, because you are the creator of your own life. That's why he said, ye are gods, but you would die like men. God's create. He wouldn't have called you a god if you wasn't one. See that? So this is the third eye right here. Now what's happening is they putting fluoride in your water. They're putting fluoride in your food. They're giving you all the wrong minerals. They're giving you pork and all these meats. All these things literally calcifies your pineal gland, right? And your pineal gland is the way through your etheric body. If you go to sleep right now and you have a dream, right? When you have a dream, isn't you in a body? So look, hold on. Let's check this out. So your body, your physical body is laying in the bed, but you sleeping, dreaming, you riding, you driving, you doing all types of stuff because you in your etheric body, meaning you have more than one body, because what your mind do is just project through different bodies. You see that? Have you ever been sleeping? You tried to wake up and something was holding you down, but you can see everything in the room. Like your eyes are open, but then you wake up. Like, hold on, how in the hell I just wake up when I was just woke? Because you have another eye. And what eye was you seeing with? Your third eye. So these eyes are closed, but that third eye is open. Y'all can Google this right now. 9 years old in India, they have a third eye school where they train them to actually mess with this muscle, because the eyes are a muscle, and they can be completely blindfolded, and they will tell you everything that you got on down to the detail. They can read your shirt. They can read a book blindfolded, because they're seeing with their perception, not with what we think these eyes. And that's why when you read 2 Corinthians 8 and 10, let's go to that. 2 Corinthians 2 and 18, I believe. 4 and 18, my bad. 2 Corinthians 4 and 18. Yep, third eye school. Look it up right on YouTube. 9-year-old. It's a lot of them, actually. 2 Corinthians 4 and 18. Repeat what Paul said. He said something very profound. Yep.
2 Corinthians 4 and 18.
Read that out loud for them.
While we look not at the things which are seen, but at things which are not seen.
You see that? While we not look at the things which are seen, we supposed to be looking at the things of which are not seen. These are only the things that you can see with your third eye. Because your third eye is the only eye that can see into other realms. They have a gland to it, have an iris, they have optical nerves to it. Ain't that something? You have an eye in your brain. Come on.
But the things that we are seeing are temporal.
So the things we see with these fake eyes through our senses, these are temporary. Come on.
So the things which are not seen are eternal.
But the things that we can't see with our physical eyes, but we can see with our third eye, is eternal. These are things that last forever. See, a lot of people want to get into dimensions of densities and ratios and fractal codes. These are nothing but lightweight spectrums, meaning that it's spirits around us right now, and other entities. We just can't see them because we're not tuned into that frequency. Like if I go through a neighborhood with a dog whistler right now, when you blow the dog whistler, you can't hear it, but the whole neighborhood start barking. How is the dog hearing this whistle, but you can't hear it? Because your melanin is not tuned to the frequency of the dog whistler. Same thing that's going on with our eyes, same thing that's going on with our feeling. We can heighten all these things just by unlocking our DNA, by following Yahweh and his commandments and eating right and through meditation and prayer. I'm saying this because I've done it. I'm not saying this because I experience these things all the time. Remember, your third eye is a muscle. Whenever you work out, and your brain is too, whenever you work out something, what it does, it grows. It rests, it goes to sleep, and it builds new what? Amino acid structures. So your nervous system is literally connecting your spiritual body through your physical body. That's why if you shoot somebody in the brain and they become brain dead, the body dies with it, right? Because it's connecting you to your spiritual body. We're projecting through these bodies, y'all. These are nothing but projections. That's all they are. That's why when you die, it's not real death. When you die, you literally was rebirthed and reborn. You wake up into a whole nother existence, a whole nother universe. You can't get rid of the spiritual body. It's ethereal. Like we actually think that this stuff is real and it's not. We just read it in 2 Corinthians 4 and 18. We're supposed to be paying attention to things that are unseen. Next slide. All right, the pineal gland. It says functions. The pineal gland releases hormones that control circadian rhythm. Remember I talked about that? The circadian rhythm? The circadian rhythm and regulates certain reproductive hormones, melatonin and serotonin. Melatonin is produced in your brain. All right, this is where you get the word mellow from. Literally, look it up. Serotonin is produced in your stomach. This is where you get the word serious from. So when you're going to sleep, you need to become mellow. So the pineal gland secretes something melanin that's going to get you into your dream state. You know what I'm saying? Your seductive state. It's time to go to sleep. Your brain waves go into theta, and it's time to learn. Star travel. That's what you do when you sleep. You can't remember your star traveling, but most people can remember their dream. Like it was a dream. No, that was real. You were just in a different body, in a different atmosphere. That's all. You're just projecting. What happened if this was the sleep world? And when we go to sleep, we're really waking up. Question to ask yourself. Huh? That's why you can't sin, according to the scripture, you can't sin in your dreams. That's why you can't. That's why it says if a man lusteth after a married woman, he already what? Committed what? Adultery. He didn't put his penis in her. He just thought about it, but he committed that very act because he thought it in his other body. Serotonin is what's produced in your stomach. And this was be producing while you were walking and living and walking around because you need to be serious. So when you at work and you pissed off at your job, you be like, why the hell I come here every day? That's that serious toning that's produced. Very serious. All right, let's keep going. All right, pineal gland keeps you connected with the universe. Let's keep going. This is a picture that Dr. Laila Africa took many years back and it's a black and white picture blowing up. This is actually your pineal gland. This is the third ventricle of the brain. This is spinal fluid. Look, this pineal gland is orbiting. That's what you're seeing. It's spinning so fast, and it look like it's a ring around it. These are actually brain cells. Literally, I'm not making this up. What do this look like? Don't this look like Saturn in the middle of the darkness and clouds are by it? That's a brain, y'all. And this is the pineal gland. You are a miniature universe. The universe lies within you. We too busy looking up, and we supposed to be looking where? Within. You see that? What we looking at is a chariot of God, y'all. Ezekiel chapter 1. Come on. Come on. I don't know why I got two pictures like that in there. That must be a mistake. All right, let's get into the chemical makeup of man and stars. Notice this is a black man because the black men only have these things as stars. Now, I'm finna prove that our spirits literally comes from the stars, and then we have taken on this program of what we call mortal bodies. All right, so if you look inside of a black man, he's made with oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, chlorine, sodium, magnesium, iodine, trace minerals, iron phosphate, zinc, fluorine, gold, and barium. Now check this out. When you look at a star, what it's made of? Read that out, y'all. Hydrogen. Ain't hydrogen on the scale? All right, come on. Come on. Ain't this on the scale? Come on. Ain't this on the scale? That's what we made of. Come on. Ain't this on the scale? Come on. Ain't this on the scale too? All right, come on. Ain't this on the scale? Come on. Come on. Isn't that on the scale? Isn't that on the scale? So the only difference is that they have nitrogen and few other particles in it to keep them floating in the air. Our minerals in us keep us on the ground. Only difference between you and a star. That's it. That's it. You are made of star stuff or stardust. I mean, look, it's time to start asking yourself questions. Everything you've been learning now. How is stars made that I look up to every night are made of the same exact minerals I'm made of? Let's keep going. All right, it says 90% of your body mass is in fact stardust because all the elements except for hydrogen and helium are created in stars. Now, what helium do when you put it in a balloon? That's why we ain't got no helium. Otherwise, we'll be black niggas floating around in the heavens. This is true. Am I lying? Notice when you suck on helium, it brings your voice to a different voice because the oxygen and atmosphere inside of your body go wrong. So when you suck on helium, that's how you're able to do the Daffy Duck and all of them voices because you have breathed in the helium that's supposed to be inside a balloon because it literally starts to lift you up. So the difference is we're stars. We just lack helium, so we on the ground. And the other stars got helium, so they in the sky. Let's keep going. All right. This is a poem. I like it. It says 93% of stardust. It says we have calcium in our bones, iron in our veins, carbon in our souls, and nitrous in our brains. 90% of stardust was souls made of flames. We are all just stars that have people names. And that's tight. Yeah, that's dope. Her name is Nikita Gill. And that's beautiful. And it's all scientific facts. Y'all want to write down her name real fast? And all she do is science poems and quotes. All she do is science poems and quotes. All right, let's get it. We already just went over that. All right, now we getting into the good stuff, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Let me see. All right, so what I want to do from here is I want to go to. I I got a few I can go through for here. Matter of fact, let's not do that. Let's hold it. So look, this is the promised land. Let's go to Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. Because we think Israel is just this little strip right here. How many of y'all thought that this was just Israel? What happens if I tell you the Bible tells us all this is Israel? This is the promised land. Let's read it. I don't want to, yeah. Let's go to the next slide. Why you finna read that too? Get it better. 15, 18? Yep, 15 and 18. Look, Turkey all the way down. All this is Israel. They got us thinking this is Israel. Do y'all know that this is the size of the state Pennsylvania? How is this Israel? How can this hold all of us? This little thing right here. Stop it. The Bible don't say that. The Bible don't say that. Let's get it.
Wow. Genesis 15, 18.
Uh-huh.
In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the
river. Hold on. The river of Egypt would be the Nile River. That's the Nile. To where?
From the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
The river Euphrates right here. Flip to the next slide. Y'all see how big this is? Hold on. Keep it right there. Let me read it out, matter of fact. Yep, going to 19.
The Kenites.
Uh-huh.
And the Edomites.
Uh-huh.
And the Hittites.
All of them had these lands. So we getting all this. Come on.
And the Perizzites.
Uh-huh.
And the
yeah, just say it. Uh-huh.
And the Amorites.
Uh-huh.
And the Canaanites. And the Girgashites. And the Jebusites.
Okay, now look, all of this is these lands. Now check this out. Flip to the next slide. All right. Now let's start getting into Palestine. Palestine actually means Israel. Y'all know that, right? It's Palestine. Now check out now we just read on the star mineral chart and the man chart, right? Of what we're made of. Now, this is the only places that you can go to that have these minerals in the abundance that they have it in. I can't get iron phosphate in America and it can heal me of sickle cell anemia. I need iron phosphate from Jerusalem. Why is that? That's how we was able to heal sickle cell anemia. 13 patients and growing, exactly. So look, it says mineral deposits in the state of Israel. Notice we call it Israel state. All right, iron phosphate, magnesium, bromide, clays like bentonite clay, copper, potassium, sulfur, gold, and carbon what? Coal. Who this make up? So why in the hell is them white boys over there pretending to be us? They don't have this stuff in them. Huh? This is the first selection. Let's keep going. Phosphates. Read that, brother.
Strikingly, Israel is ranked among the top 7 countries of the world for phosphate mining.
You see that? We are upon the number 7 countries in the world. Israel is the top mining for phosphate mining. Meaning they finding magnesium phosphate, iron phosphate, calcium phosphate. We need phosphate. Why is this found in Israel? It ain't found nowhere else. This 7, top 7. Let's keep reading.
Israel currently produces about 2% of the world's raw phosphates.
Raw phosphates. Come on.
The total reserves of
phosphates
are estimated at several trillion tons.
Ooh, do y'all hear that? That's why we need to be at home. That's why when you read in the scripture, it says that Israel longed for us to come home. The land cries out for us. The land mourns. It's missing us. This is called body and land connection, geographic genetics. Guess how I'm healing everybody? I go and get herbs from Africa and I bring them here and I create the environment for you. I'm going to create the African environment. That's why we build in the healing center and we create it just like Africa, particularly Israel. And we're going to give you all the herbs from there. And guess what? You're going to heal from HIV, herpes, AIDS, sickle cell anemia, blindness. I don't care what it is. If we can create the environment of where we come from, we can get healing back. Wasn't herbs for the healing of the nations? Didn't he say you better not abhor the apothecary? Didn't he say that the tree of life will bear 12 manner of fruits each month? And all of these are for the healing of the nations. So we're going to create that. Well, we creating that, should I say. But notice this. We can stop it. We got enough from there. Come on. It says mineral deposits in Egypt. Remember, he said the great river of Euphrates, right? All right. This is the river. The great river of Egypt. This is the Nile River. All right, upper Nile. This is the lower. All right. So all of this is in Egypt. We get all that too. This is all our land too. Notice what's in there. Guess what? High levels of what? Iron phosphate again. So is it a coincidence that he gave us all these lands that called it the promised land? No, it's not, because within inside of all these countries, not just Israel, the state of Israel, all of this is called Israel, is every mineral that we need to stay alive and to keep our electrical bodies here longer. Because all these things produce the electrical body. Iron phosphate, iron fluorine, gold, copper, zinc, potassium, bentonite clay, and what else again? Coal and carbon. Ain't we been talking about this whole lecture? Let's keep it going. Mineral deposit in Iraq. Wasn't that part of it? What do we see in here? Iron phosphate, sulfur, coal, silica, bentonite clay. Let's keep going. Saudi Arabia. Wasn't that the bottom part of the promised land? Let's see what's in there. Iron phosphate, very, very large amount of gold. It's so many gold minings in Saudi Arabia. It's crazy. And when you actually start going into the Garden of Eden, it talks about HERBAL. It says where there's gold. Have you ever read it in the Bible? When you start talking about the gardens, go in Genesis and start reading about the gardens and the rivers. It's going to say HERBAL, where there is gold. Well, that happened to be Saudi Arabia. It says iron phosphate, gold, copper, zinc, and silver. Let's keep going. Lebanon, wasn't that a part of it too? Wasn't Lebanon? Mineral deposits in Lebanon, iron phosphate. So abundant in iron phosphate, it's crazy. That's the only thing that's produced in his land. Now we see why they sieged Lebanon. Why they went in there and just besieged. I'm talking about it's so much stuff going in Lebanon right now. Let's keep going. Mineral deposits in Jordan. Phosphates, all type of phosphates. Every phosphate you can think of is produced in Jordan. And what? Selenium. What's selenium in us? It's inside of our what? It's in the nucleus of our cells, inside of our melanin. Remember? And the crocozoid got sulfur inside of his. That's the only difference. In our melanin, we got selenium. And they melanin, they got sulfur. So we got all the phosphates in selenium. The River of Jordan, huh? Let's keep going. Mineral deposits in Syria. Wasn't this part of the chart too? Iron phosphate and calcium in high levels. Not like out here. High levels, concentrated, organic, raw material. That's why you take them herbs over there. You take them herbs, you be like, well, I feel it. I'm electrified. What's going on here? I just feel different. It works immediately because it's come from the land you from. They give y'all herbs from everywhere else but from the land of Israel, the promised land. And the promised land is what's going to heal you. We're going to read verses that talks about that. That's where salvation is. Salvation is in the land of Israel. It's not outside in Babylon. So the only way I can heal my people is through the herbs and the plants and the foods that naturally grow there. Let's keep going. All right, now let's get into the seas, because it was talking about the seas, right? This is the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea, matter of fact, I think it's the next slide. It shows up in there. Let's see. Nope. Well, the Red Sea, all of these have something called carbonates, right? It's carbonates, phosphates, bromides, and aldehydes. These are 4 elements that keep you healed. That's all in your river, especially like sea moss. Have you ever heard of sea moss? Bladderwrack. Well, guess what they get these? They get these from algae plants inside of these seas. And it has over 102 minerals in it that you need. Let's keep going. Now, it says the Dead Sea raw material. Can we read that? Can you read it?
Dead Sea raw minerals. The Dead Sea liquid contains an extremely high amount of useful chemical components. Table 1 provides comparison of chemical components of the Dead Sea and Mediterranean Sea. So we talking about the main rivers that's in the promised land, right? Let's keep going. The total reserves of magnesium in the Dead Sea are estimated at 23,000 million
millitons. Y'all see that? 23,000 millitons. Woo! That's a whole lot of magnesium, man. Come on.
The bromides, 100 millitons.
Now, you know what a bromide is, right? Bromide is what you get from your sea vegetables, your seaweed, your sea moss, your kelp, your dulce, your nori, your bladderwrack. This is how you address and heal thyroid disease. I give you iodine, that corrected thyroid, help you regulate calcium right. And you know your thyroid, it actually regulates your metabolic process. That's what makes you hot, cold, makes you skinny, fat. It's your metabolism. Your thyroid and your parathyroid right here. It's keep you depressed too if you lacking these minerals. All I gotta do is you tell me that. I'm like, all right, let me call up my African friends. Hey, could you give me some sea moss and some iodine from up out of the Mediterranean Sea? I pay my fee, they ship them, man. I give them to you. You call me a month later. It's a miracle, Yahki. I don't have it anymore. All right, let's do a healing testimony. That's how it works. All right, let's go. Yeah.
7,300 millitons.
Talk about this salt.
13,000.
And this is sea salt, real salt. Come on.
And the Dead Sea brine also contains lithium. 10 to 20 parts per million. Which is utilized by atomic energy in the industry. All
right, so when you go down to the table, you got chloride, you got magnesium, sodium, calcium, bromine, and potassium. All right, let's go to the next one. This is just in the seas that surround it. All right, these are the rivers. There's so much stuff in this stuff. Remember, carbonates, phosphates, iodine, and bromines. Come on, that's the Nile Valley. This is the Tigris Euphrates. We already talked about everything that was in there. All right, it says, what are the volts of electricity in your human body? Let's get it. You want to read that?
Okay, sure. Monday, May 20th, 2019. Body total voltage from 70 trillion volts down to more accurate value of 3.5 trillion volts.
Yeah, I heard that. That's how many volts is in you. That's why, look, check this out. Whenever you dying on a hospital bed, what they do? Stand back. What is that? That's electricity. That's actually melanin carbon neurons in them. And they shock you. And then the carbon or the melanin wakes up in you and you wake up breathing real fast. And they say, we got them back. We just need to get them stable. Electricity is what's running you and keeping you alive. And electricity is what brings you back. Keep reading.
The calculation is based on the following. The average membrane potential for a cell is 70 millivolts or
0.7 volts. So in each of your cells, you have 0.7 volts in your body. You are literally a battery. Literally. Come on.
This is electrical charge difference between the inside of the cell, separated by the cell membrane, from the charge just outside the cell membrane.
Now, what did I just say? That means you have electricity inside of your cells and you have electricity outside of your cells. Do you know if you measure your thoughts, you can measure that outside of the brain? Your thoughts are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not your thoughts. You don't even think inside of your mind. You think with electrical signals. Who is the signal? Who are you connected to? It's the real you. You're literally in a video game. This is the control stick. Where is the controller at? Who is pressing the buttons? That's the you I'm trying to get you to understand. This is a simulation program. This is the program. Grand Theft Auto. You see how they be hopping in the car, shooting the police, taking them on wild police chases? That's you. The real you is the person that's behind a computer screen with the controller in his hand. All this is moved through electricity. Come on.
There are 50 trillion cells.
You got 50 trillion. Now remember, he's a white guy. This is Bruce Lipton, a doctor named Bruce Lipton. See, they only got 50 to 75 trillion cells. So he's speaking of his body. We got 150 trillion cells. So we have to do basically 0.7 times 150 trillion. That's how much electricity you have in your body. You see that? Come on.
The voltage power in the cells is actually more because it did not include the fact that the cell's nucleus also has a membrane potential, which is not added to the cell's total potential.
You see that? And we ain't even getting into the main central nervous system, the brain. We just talking about in your cells. This is how powerful we is. Why we don't act like it though? Because we didn't know this information. And with knowledge come what? Power. And with the application of knowledge come wisdom. So we should be wise and take this information and start applying it. Let's get it.
There is something new and amazing. Using nanoscale voltmeters, biologists have now found that within a cell, all of 13 regions of the cytoplasm,
Yep, cytoplasm.
there's a high electric field strength as high as 15 million volts per meter.
Look this up. Brain battery article. Go type that in and look that up. Man, they measured this black man brain. I mean, his thoughts was like this big outside his head. They hooked some things up to his head and did a sonogram and turned the lights off and took pictures of it. And you can go get this too, where they check your aura. You can go see what color your aura is, what type of hue you bring out. That's why they call us colors. You actually resonate each color of the rainbow. Some people are red because they need to work on their lust and their sex drive. Some people are in yellow because they guys or they bellies, like being riotous eaters, like the scriptures say. Some people are violet and purple. These are people that thinks with their brain. They're thinkers. They ain't workers. They work with their minds. You see that? So you can actually tell which phase of these seven, the Indians call it chakras. The Bible call it the 7 things that God hate in Proverbs chapter 6, or he talks about the 7 lights on the 7 candlesticks or the menorah that you actually got on your Bible. If you turn them sideways and face forward, where your Bible at? Could you turn? Y'all see the 7s up? Now this is, so one started in my head and the other one ends in my groin, the 7 of them. These things each have electrical fields to them called cortex or vortexes. So the Indians actually call it the chakras, but the Bible call it the 7 lights or these 7 energy points. And each of these actually control your body, and they're connected to a gland in your body. Each gland is called the glandular highway. Each gland actually secretes some type of hormone or steroid. So if you want to fall in love, your pineal gland will secrete something called oxytocin that binds you to your significant other or through your baby, either through kissing or through orgasm. So if you look, when a woman first kissed her baby, this has been recorded too, that her neurons and her neurons and the baby neurons connected like a tree. You will see it. When she kissed the baby, it was these electrical impulses trying to leave their skin and connect to each other. So you see these limbs that are all counting the same and they facing each other. It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. You got something called serotonin that we was talking about. We got something called cortisol. When you're afraid, fight or flight, that your kidneys and your adrenal glands produce. These things are what's controlling you. So you're literally controlled by these 7 vortexes or by this menorah. So you must keep the menorah lit. You have to keep it lit. So that's when you get into the Feast of Lights and Chanukah, what they call Hanukkah, which is in our Bibles, you will see what this really represents. This represents the 7 spirits that was on the Messiah. And these 7 spirits supposed to be inside of you. Didn't he say, be ye like Christ? Put on Christ. Put on the armor of Yahweh. All makes sense. All this is scientific. You can prove this through science. All right, come on. Matter of fact, we can stop there. Okay, now this is the healthy food chart, combination chart. So this is mine. Whenever you order any type of product from me, you get this. So basically, this shows you what to eat. All these things are electrical foods, and it shows you how to combine these foods. If you really want to heal, stay in the blue. If you want to heal slow, you can tap into yellow, but I'm not going to suggest that. Stay in the blue. So you see you got your electrical or your citrus fruits, and then these can only be combined with sub-electric or sub-citrus. Then this can only be combined with sweet fruits. You always eat melons by themselves. Now, for people that ask me why, the thing about melons, when you eat melons and you mix them with other things, the sugar becomes fermented, and then you pour alcohol from them. You can actually get drunker than drinking a whole glass of wine or a whole thing of 1738 if you eat melons mixed with many other fruits all day. You will get a whole feeling going on because it creates spirits. And notice that's what they call wine. They call it what? Spirits. So y'all can get a picture of this if y'all need it. It's on my website too. Y'all can download it for free. All right, and the website right here, www.yahkiawaken.com. Move on. All right, now this shows you how your spiritual body manifests your physical body into this being. All right, we dealing with something called Hertz here. So you can see everything starts from the sun, pulsating to the sun. Right, these are big waves and frequencies. These are big waves and frequencies, and then what happens? The sun starts pulsating so much, and it hits itself like 100 drums a beat per minute, per second, and keeps doing it till it solidifies. And then what happens is you see a computer program or us come from it. Now, this is for other lecture, but I will go into it a little bit. Notice these, the colors we just went through. Notice that? Remember, the violet will be your keto or the Christ consciousness and go all the way down to the root. Now, notice the root is the visible, but the higher you go up, the more of the etheric being you become, and then you become spirit. So once you have created and did what you were supposed to do while you was here, that's when Most High take you. Your mission's done. But notice, as long as you're here, you're going to have some problems. This is where STDs at. These herbs, 405 to 480, you find STDs, you'll find parasites, you'll find cancer. Then the more you raise the vibration of the body and the cells, these things leave. Let's keep going. All right, now this is a chart I made too, and this basically just go into your glances and what each of them do. Notice you got the top is Yahweh, then it goes all the way down. It's connected to the planets, solar plex, and all of that. This is for my lecture for this weekend, so make sure y'all watch it. I'm gonna give y'all the YouTube. It's this YouTube link, but we're going over all this weekend. Let's keep going. All right, this showing y'all a dying cell and a collapsing star. Ain't this crazy? This is a dying cell. This is a dying star. Why do they look the exact same? I'm gonna show you why. Let's keep going. This is a birth of a cell. This is a birth, the death of a star. So whenever a star dies, a birth of a human becomes. Just look this stuff up. The death of a star. And then this is the birth of a cell. Why do they look just alike here? What is happening here? Let's keep going. All right. This is the image of a far galaxy in its plasmic form. This is the image of an embryo. Why do they look the same? This says also there is a similarity between the beginning of a galaxy and the embryo at the early stages, which testify that there is only one creator. Be he exalted and blessed. It says, God says, Yahweh is the creator of everything. Glory be to Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Notice this. This is an embryo. This is the beginning of a galaxy. Birth of a galaxy. Why do they shape the same? This is a real picture, y'all. I'm not making this stuff up. Why do they look like? What's going on here? We are miniature universes. Let's keep going. This is brain cell activities. These are melanin neuron transmitter. This is a network of the universe when all the stars in the galaxies are blend in together through microscopes. Why do they look like? Micros, macros. Can you read that, brother?
On the left, a neutral network of a mouse.
Yeah.
On the right, a computerized representation of our present universe. Galaxy cluster, stars, dark matter. Developed by the International Group of Astrophysics. One is a micrometer, the other light years. Both are natural phenomena and undeniable pattern similarities.
Do y'all see this? So this is actually a mouse brain. Let's put our brain there and see what we get from it. Looking just like the universe, showing you that this is nothing but a what? Computer simulation. Moving through electricity. Let's keep going. This is an eye. This is Anubius. Anubius is an expanding star. This is an eye. If you zoom in on an eye and get behind the nerve plasmas, you will see the universe. And then they say the eyes was the window to the soul. The soul is the window to the universe. Let's keep going. We already went through that one. This is your lymphatic system and your nervous system. Notice how it makes a light beam. These are colors that it gives off. You're literally walking light beams. Literally. Let's keep going. All right, healthy cells. Now we can do this one too. So this shows you a healthy cell with the melanin in the middle. This shows you an unhealthy cell. So the difference between a healthy cell and unhealthy cell, these things, the ribose are able to get out of the cellular wall. Unhealthy cell, all of the putrefaction and the poop that the cell produces stays inside of the cell. And that's when the cell dies out. My thing is I go through and I cleanse out each of your cells. Let's keep going. We can keep going from that too. We can go from that too. All right, this is what I really want to end it with. I want to end this with this. What were we created to eat? I want to start this off in Genesis. Let's go to Genesis 1, 29 to 30. Genesis chapter 1, 29 to 30. This is going to show you what you were supposed to eat. I'm not talking about what we allowed to eat. I'm talking about what you were created to eat. It's a difference. And I'm not saying eating meat is sin at all, because you see it in the Levitical diet. I will never call it a sin because I believe wholeheartedly in the Torah and in the Bible. But are we were we created to eat meat? No, we wasn't. Is it a sin for us to eat meat? As long as it's clean? No, it's not. Do eating meat like literally farther your risk in cancer and all type of disease? Yes, it does. Do it lowers your electricity and your vibration? By far, yes, it does. Is it a sin to eat it? No, it's not. Why do I have to get anybody that got a disease? I have to stop their diet. The first thing I pull out is, guess what? Carbonic acid, meats, carbonic acid. You got to stop the meat. Then your body can heal itself. Why is that? Because it's stress. They say life is inside the blood. We're dealing with different DNA databases. And when you eat DNA and your DNA actually changes the DNA to ribose, that means it changes you on the DNA structure. So we got to watch what we're eating. So if I'm a light being, I need to eat light-coded food, right? Exactly. All right, go ahead and read that.
You said 28?
Yeah.
Okay. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply,
right,
and replenish the earth.
So he told them, he blessed them. He said, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. Come on.
And subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Right.
And over the fowl of the air. And over every living thing that moves upon the earth.
Come on.
And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
So I give you every herb bearing seed. All these people smoking weed with no seeds, talking about they got some kush and all of that. You smoking the wrong weed. Your weed's supposed to have seeds in it. That's real weed. No seeds in my weed, cuz. Nah. You smoking on some of that, hybrid. That's why you got anxiety and you tripping out now. Come on.
I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree which is fruit of a tree yielding seed it shall be for meat. So
what was our meat was the fruit of the trees. We're literally frugivores. Adam and Eve ate fruits before the sin. Notice after sin, Noah came into play. He had to save the animals. Well, all that water was all over the world, so all the plants was what? Deficient of all minerals. But they was eating plants on the boats to keep them alive. So what happened was when Noah got off the boat, he like, man, look, it ain't nothing else to eat. So he said, you know what? The very animals that's on the boat, I get it to be meat unto you. Long as you ain't drinking his blood, long as y'all ain't doing rituals with them that's not unto me, y'all can eat these animals. But notice, you really won't see any meat eaten before Noah and after they get off the boat. Why is that? What were we eating? We're plant-based people. And even down into the characteristics in our behavior, you can tell that when you read in the Bible. And that's going to be a next lesson for sure. We got to touch on that too. But you will see, even to this very day, we didn't eat meat all throughout the Bible like that. They only ate meat on festivals, feast days, and on Shabbats. They weren't eating meat with every meal. Now the Negro just got to have a meat with a meal. Got to. Where's that y'all don't even consider it a meal without the meat? Ain't that crazy? We didn't eat like that in the Bible at all. But again, for everybody that's on the worldwide line that's listening to this, and everybody here, eating meat is not a sin. Now, eating the wrong meat, pork and all of that, that's of course a sin. But eating meat is not a sin. But is eating meat unhealthy to the body, especially in this day, present and age? Yes, it is. And I can prove that through my healing cases. I can prove that through experience, not just from me doing research. Hands-on database, I can prove that. All right, so let's get into the chart a little bit and we'll move on. You see carnivores' mouth, omnivores' mouth, herbivores that just eat plants. Then you see frugivores. Now, this is a human being, a black man. What do his mouth look like? Do it look like a carnivore, y'all? A carnivore eat nothing but meat. Do it like an omnivore. You see, you got the canines. That's for shredding meat. For shredding. That's why I got claws to shred his meat with. Do you got claws? No, you don't. We got fingernails to peel back fruits, oranges, mangoes. Even your body, the autonomy and anatomy of your body, it shows you that you was made for you're not created with no fork and spoon. I don't see a fork and spoon and my fingers created out of that. I don't see no shredding nails so I can cut through flesh and hair. I see fingers with nails on if I can peel back my fruits. You see that? So herbivores, do our mouths look like that? Do our mouths look like this, y'all? No, it don't, because we were not only made to just eat vegetables. That's why they're so big. These are grinders. And what happens when they eat this, it goes through another pit in their stomach, then it goes back and redigests. So they chew up the cud. Then it breaks down their phytonutrients, right? Now, this is a primate, a gorilla. He eat nothing but fruits, a little bit of vegetables, and a lot of nuts. Do our mouth look like that? Look exactly like that. Do gorillas got claws or do they got fingers and fingernails? Fingers and fingernails. And if you see a gorilla, they're going to be sitting there, throw them an orange, they're going to peel it back. To try to throw a tiger a line of orange, they can't even hold the thing because they don't have fingers. We can see through the anatomy of our body what we're supposed to be eating. Let's not get into the small intestine, the large intestines, the alkalinity, the saliva glands, the way our stomach have acid in it. That's a whole nother lesson in itself to further prove that. See that? So then you got humans. So if you look at the frugivore, the primates, it says fruits, vegetables, and nuts. What do I say? Fruits, vegetables, and nuts. That's how you heal. With some good herbs in this diet, I don't care what it is, you can heal it. Mental disease too. Emotional disease too. Most of us emotionally depressed and emotionally damaged because we don't have enough minerals in our body. Calcium will do you justice. Depression, you need vitamin D. Get out in that sun. All these things come from your food. You see what I'm saying? Next slide. All right, now this shows what I said I wasn't going to, but it shows you just plant eaters and meat eaters and how our digestive system are totally different. That's for my lesson for this weekend, so we ain't gonna go into that. We ain't gonna go into that one either. I want to get into the food. All right, so I got a few more slides that we done. I just want to show you the light cold frequency of foods. So this is a slice of meat, raw. You see how electrical that is? So in order for us to get any type of electricity from meat, we got to eat it bloody and raw. Ain't that's why animals do that? Have you ever seen a lion cook up, turn a stove on, get his spices ready, get some canola oil, whatever oil y'all use, and fry his food? Or do he hunt it down and eat it alive? He don't even wait till it's dead because he need the electricity. He's eating that blood because the electricity is in that blood. But what we do, we fry the blood up and look. I used to like mine crispy. I want mine well done. I'm eating nothing. I'm not getting no phytonutrients, no electric, no nothing from the meat. You see that? So this shows you that it's only electrical when it's raw. That's why other animals eat it while it's raw. Carnivores eat their food raw. This shows an apple while it's raw. Way more electric than a raw meat, right? And we are electrical beings, meaning we need to be eating what? This apple. All right, this shows you a sprout. Look at that electricity coming from there. See that? Your caco, look at that. Look at these organic mushrooms. Look at the broccoli.
What is caco?
They use a lot of that for chocolate. You can use it for like chocolate and stuff like that. Yeah. They actually like black tree bark. It's pretty good too. See that? Notice all these things are electric. How is these electric if you cooking it and smothering it with all type? And then the crazy thing about the Negro is he don't even understand that he's a frugivore or an herbivore. What he does is he'll get meat and put every herb on it. Now pass me that oregano. Pass me that salt. Pass me that basil, that sweet basil. He will saturate his cooked food with herbs because he needed to taste like herbs to eat it. But he say, oh no, we meat eaters. No, you're not. You just saturated it with herbs to make it even taste good. Do that even make sense, y'all? It don't. That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all. All right, let's keep going. This shows you a tomato. This shows you a cooked tomato, and this shows you a raw tomato. Notice when you cook it, it still have electricity, but not as much. Cooked broccoli, raw broccoli. Shows you a medium rare meat, cooked meat, raw meat. And that's why the crockers always be like, I want mine medium rare. If I don't got blood in it, I don't want it. That's what they tell you. If I don't see no blood, I don't want to eat it. And that's why they got so many parasites. No, you can leave it on that. That's why they got so many parasites and stuff up in them. All right, this shows you mushrooms, organic mushrooms, and this shows you a GMO mushrooms. See that organic mushrooms? Full of electricity. See that? Let's go. Yeah, that's why it's so high. Now, back to the original question. Who are you? If y'all can't answer this, I did a terrible job and I don't need to be lecturing no more. Do anybody have an answer now? We done went through 4 hours of this. Who are you? Star beings. That's what it is. And we are gods. So look, since we are star beings, since we are gods, but we die like men, should we start conducting ourselves like those? Let's do it. And then we prove without a shadow of doubt that we are Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. So I asked y'all, what was y'all nationality? What would y'all say? You sure can't say African American no more. You better not say black, brother. See that? We're directly associated with this book. And this book is full of scientific fact. Keep going. And we ended with, I just like to start how I ended. So I want to open up for any questions at all y'all got. Y'all can ask them, and I'll be sure to answer them. Any questions whatsoever?
You said the land heals us.
Yes.
But don't we have to believe?
Yes, of course, of course. Belief play a major part of your biology. If you look up Bruce Lipton, he talks about belief in biology, how even from Abraham, when he was in the land, he told him to get up from his land and cross over the Euphrates River, right? It says, by his belief made that righteous. By the belief you were healed. When Christ was healing you, he said, by your belief I made you whole. So your belief have a major role into this. Belief come with culture. That's why we got to tap back into our culture. That's where your belief lies at. Because everything you believe in is a culture that's been put on you. That's why you believe that cancer can't be healed. That's why you believe that herpes, there's no cure for herpes. That's why you believe there's no cure for HIV. You see what I'm saying? That's why, because somebody put that culture consciousness on you. But in our cultural consciousness, we see that food heals us, medicine from the earth heals us. So your belief system is your culture, and that's what makes up your identity. So yeah, you're exactly right, bro. Any other questions? Yay, nay, maybe. Y'all looking. Okay. I know it's a lot to say. I try to go slow. I ain't put too much on y'all, did I? Okay, and look, just replay this video back and go look up everything I said, everything. For yourselves. Don't take my word for nothing. I could have been lying the whole time. Treat me like that. Go look up the research yourself. It will blow your mind. And I just barely scratched the surface, y'all. There's so much stuff I wanted to talk about, but we'll be here till 9 o'clock. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I do got a few herbs y'all can look at. I don't like buying, selling, or trading on the Shabbat. So if y'all need anything, you can work it out for when the sun go down or tomorrow. I'll be here till tomorrow. If y'all got any type of questions or anything y'all need to ask me or speak along, I'm here. So with that being said, look, I love y'all. And look, this was called Geographic Genetics, Cultural Consciousness. So if y'all agree with this stuff, let me know. If y'all want to hear more, let me know. We got channels, I got a website, and I got all my material for y'all to look at. So with that being said, I'll pray. Yeah, look, it's all recorded. All right, Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
I got a question. So in order for people to grow back their hair, they need to detox first.
Yes, in order for you to grow back your hair, you have to detox your nervous system, because your nervous system endings is where your hair is at. So if you're not growing hair on the outside, that means you lacking hair on the inside. So you have to grow back your hair on the inside before it even comes back out of your scalp or your skin. You need a nervous system detox. So first thing I would do if I was you, I would switch to all electrical fruits to get that nervous system back up and running. And then that's going to help out the gearship of your body, which is your thyroid gland and your parathyroid. You see what I'm saying? That's going to get the nervous system back up and running. Then you're going to start seeing it regenerate itself. Because remember, the cells in the body actually replenish themselves every 3 to 4 months. So in 3 to 4 months, you'll start seeing hair that ain't grew in years in the spot. It might start off little 3 pores, but look, they there. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, start getting on some herbs. Go-to herb, very good. Juniper berry, very good. Blue verivane, very good for the nervous system. Verulin root, very good for the nervous system. What else? We got rosemary, very good. The actual stems of it. And then cleanse the blood with some burdock root. You know what I'm saying? Some sarsaparilla and some yellow dot. And you'll start seeing hair will start growing everywhere. And then you got to feed it. Batana oil, very good. Marijuana oil, very good. Because that's going to feed the scalp and keep the scalp hydrated. But the whole thing initially is the nervous system. But you got to see, when you have nervous system problems, that means you have a stressful lifestyle too. Because remember, with every disease, there is an actual spiritual component. So you got to get rid of that stress, because that means you're producing too much sodium in your liver and your kidneys. And that's what's actually damaging the nervous system in the first place. So we got to stop addressing the symptoms and start addressing the key problem. Stop the stress, feed the nervous system, detox it, and then strengthen it up, and then you'll find you have hair again.
I was watching one of your earlier videos, and you stated that if your urine has a lot of bubbles in it,
too much protein.
Yeah, too much protein. Do you have a package for that?
Yes, the amino acid therapeutic package level 1. And basically what we do, we flush all the proteins out of your body by breaking them down, because the kidneys cannot break down the proteins. Your kidneys are literally the seats of your ancestors. So your kidneys is the only way that I can heal you. I have to get your kidneys open, because the only way you can heal anybody's body is through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system, only main filtration system is the skin and the kidneys. And these things, and your skin is your third kidney. So the kidneys are the main key function to everything. And it's actually connected to your ancestor, because all your DNA gets cloned and filtrated through there too. So any information about you is through your kidneys. That's why fear and stress have direct correlation and effect on your kidneys. If people that got bad kidneys are very fearful, suffer from anxiety, suffer from alcoholism, which damages the liver, which is the chemical factory of the body. So anytime you look in that kidney, it's people that's for real very frustrated in life and that never get their goals accomplished. You know what I'm saying? They want to start out to do something, but they never can finish it. Or they got too much anxiety, or they're very fearful of things. They always think something bad is going to happen to them. Instead of thinking about the positive outcomes, I always think about the negative outcomes. These are direct effect on your kidneys. So like every spiritual component manifests themselves in a physical body. STDs come from the lack of patience. You lack patience, that means you jumped in bed too soon. You don't know how to wait. You know what I'm saying? You lack patience. Now you got an STD. Cancer comes from anger. Very anger is acidosis. It changed the molecular structure of your cells. So now you're mad and you're producing these bad cells, and they start to mutate. Now you got cancer. See what I'm saying? Everything has a spiritual component to it. Everything. Diabetes is, remember, associated with the love. You lack love in yourself. You don't love yourself. You lack love in your community, or you never was loved quite right, or you associated love with eating. So if you got treated bad, you will take your love into eating, emotionally eating. That's why you see fat people that eat a lot. They don't want to eat and be fat. That's the only thing that they can find a comfort in. And it messes up their pancreas. And then they glycagon rises and they insulin stop producing to actually level out the sugars. Now their pancreas is failing and they call it diabetes. So everything have a spiritual component. If you address your spiritual body first, you can potentially heal the physical body. And I know this through me healing a lot of people from diseases that y'all would never believe. Any other questions?
So it has nothing to do with my father's father that sin, that brought the sin.
Yeah, but still, that started spiritually. That's
Right.
Generational curses started because a spiritual thing. The father sinned, which was a spiritual thing, and then it manifested in the physical, and then these things are passed down. What's not passed down is genetics. Genetics are not really passed down. When you look inside of a cell, what's inside of a cell is the DNA, and then it's protein. They say that the nucleus of the cell is the main brain of the cell. It's not. The nucleus of the cell is only the thinking faculty of the brain. If I take a nucleus out of a cell, the cell is still going to perform and do everything that it did before the nucleus even left, showing you that my genome code do not affect me. What affect me is the environment that I put my cells in. That's why it's called cells. Love your cells, meaning to love yourself. Cell and self is the same thing. So what happens is generational curses because culture is being inherited. If you eat a lot of bad food, you teach your son how to eat a lot of bad food. So that same disease you got, if you just do potentials, I mean, of course he's gonna get it. You taught him how to eat bad. If you curse all day and every day, and you got a 2-year-old, guess what? He's gonna be cursed. He's learning his language. He's gonna do the same thing you do. Is that passed down through genetics, or is that passed down through the environment that you put your genetics in? That's the environment. So sin is passed down culturally, or what the Bible say genetically, which is the same thing as culture. It's all about perception.
So no matter what age you are, you can still potentially do a cleansing.
Of course. We were not made to age. We're supposed to live at least 999 years, and at our 1,000 years mark, we're supposed to transcend and become electrical beings. So you was made to live very long. But what happened was sin came, and now, 120 score. And now it's even lower than that. We only living to be 66. But that's because what's happening to our genetics. We eating wrong. We have adrenal fatigue. Our kidneys are weak. Our body is not processing our metabolic waste properly. And that's all spiritual again. We must get in tune with ourselves. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know what food we supposed to be eating. We don't know what women we supposed to be lying with. We just get women and lay with them, and they cut off years of our life because they're so crazy. Men are manipulating women, and they cutting off years. It's everything about us, the radio, the food, the TV, the cell phones. All these are distractions to use us as batteries. If y'all seen the Matrix, you seen when Neo finally woke up, he woke up in an incubator. He was in a battery. It's in a battery. Like, dang, I've been asleep, and y'all been feeding this computer program, but the real me been asleep all the time. And that's what's happening. Israelites are asleep and need to wake the hell up. Soon, we at the end. Wars, rumors, or everything is coming crashing down. It's time for us to wake up and realize who we are and start fulfilling our purpose, because it's impossible to live in a state of fullness and being if you was here in this physical realm and you didn't fulfill your purpose. That's where you get the word negative and positive from, heaven and hell, the lake of fire. All these things are spiritual when you think about it. And you can suffer these things in mindset too. So we have to make sure we address our spiritual vehicles and then let that manifest through the physical. Because remember, this physical thing don't really exist. You don't exist, brother. I don't exist. We're experiencing reality. We're potentially the same thing. That's why we made up of the same things. Literally, this is a computer simulation. Who playing the game right? It seems like everybody know they role in position but us. Why are we the only lost ones? You ask a Chinese man what's his nationality, he's gonna tell you, I'm Chinese, I speak Chinese, I'm from China. An Irishman, I'm Irish, I'm from Ireland, I speak Irish. A Japanese, I'm from Japan, I speak Japanese, I'm Japanese. You ask a Negro, I am African American and I speak English. Like, the hell is going on here? What's going on here? It's time for us to get this right. It's time. Yep. Are we all done here? I'm finna press the end button. Okay. What language should we be speaking? We should be speaking our Hebraic language, the Hebrew language. This language is full of spirits and it creates. This is where you get the Hebrew word abracadabra from. It literally means I create what I speak. This language is the only language that's close to the chemistry language, meaning mayim, which means water in Hebrew. Right? If you go into the chemical language of water, it is if you get down to the structure, is mem, yod, mem. We got two mems and we got one yod. Water, which is mayam in English, is made of H2O. Two what? Hydrogen, one what? Oxygen. See that? So if I say dog in Hebrew, I am saying Caleb. Caleb means one who protects, one who have heart. Who's gonna protect you if somebody breaking your house? Your dog. If we say dog in English, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. English have no meaning to the words. They're curse words. That's why when we write in sentences. Sentences is what you get when you're in prison. You get a prison sentence. Or you wake up and you say, good morning. Why is it good to mourn? You mourn at a funeral. Or you say, I go to my job, which means persecution, and I earn a living. A earn is where you put the ashes of the dead. So this language is a death language. But we got to watch what we say to one another. Anything else?
The brother from the school you was talking about.
Mm-hmm. No, I need to call him. He probably still on the street corners teaching. He be teaching us shit, but I'll call him.
I want to relearn the language.
Let's do it, man. It's good. And we actually got a whole lot of lessons on our YouTube page. It's going through the alphabet too, the Hebrew alphabet. And then I got some series getting into like the mystical meanings behind them because it's so deep. The whole Hebraic language, it shows you that Yahweh dealt with a family structure. Like the first word is Aleph. Aleph means strength, a leader. The second word is Beit or Bet. Bet means house. If you put these words together, it's Ab or Abba. Abba means father. So father literally means the leader of the house. See that English, we say daddy. Daddy don't mean a damn thing. What do daddy mean? See, but a father, Abba, means leader of the house. See what I'm saying? It's the only language that does that. Only language. It's a mystical language, and it'll blow your mind. And each language is where you get into literally your yoga from, or what the yogis stole from our Hebrews. So what yoga is an exercise that your body does, where your body's supposed to formulate every language in the Hebrew, and it corrects energy and put energy in the right places of your body so you can heal yourself faster. So what the yogis did in India, they took this from us and they just put their own name on it, and then they connected it to their Hindu gods. So we think it's evil, but these actually came from our traditions. They came up out of West Africa, where we used to shape our bodies in the Hebrew shapes, and we used to breathe in the ruach, or the energy, and we used to heal our bodies through that. So they call it yoga. We just call it ruach exercising. That Hebrew language is, man, it's amazing. It really is.
One more.
Uh-huh.
How do you get How do you get men to lead and women to follow?
The Bible. The Bible give you the role. So the whole thing is gonna come down to what the brother over there was talking about, belief. If you believe that you're a Hebrew Israelite, then you have a book of instructions. Nothing comes without instructions, not even us. You know, you buy a TV and a TV stand. It's instructions on how to do that. You come out your mother's womb. Your mother raised you on the instructions that she was giving from her father and the mother. Where did they get the instructions from? So when you want to know the role of a woman, look at the anatomy of her body and the things she's supposed to do. A man, he's more muscular. His shoulders are more broader than hers. His calf muscles are more bigger than hers. So he's automatically the hunter and the gatherer. So he's supposed to provide the food. The woman is more petite. Her brain is bigger than the man. So she's his thinking faculty. She thinks for him. She figure out the way to bring the currency in. She's cooking the food because she's more creative. She think with her parietal lobe. We think with our frontal lobe. We're more rational. She's more creative and emotional. She feels and you think rational. She don't want to know how you think. She want to know what you feel. You don't give a damn about her feelings. You want to know what she think. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at the anatomy of our bodies, you can understand the role. Her role was to make the house you build a home. You build a house and she make it a home. Yeah. Anything else?
I know I was talking to some people don't believe that, or they think there's women pants and so on and so forth. So when I try to tell them that women aren't supposed to wear pants, there's a big thing. So when I tell them, I say, well, you know, God told Moses to tell his parents to wear these linen breeches. Well, that was then. Things changed now. I said, yeah, but the Bible specifically said, God said, my word never changed.
Okay, so what I have to say is this. When you go inside of a store, right, and you go into JCPenney's, and you look at the labels, you're going to see men's section, and you're going to see women's section. Inside both sections, you're going to see pants. I'm not going to go into the women's section and put on pants. I'm going to go on the men's side. A woman is not going to go into the man's side and put on man pants. She's going to get women pants. That's created to fit the anatomy of her body. So what I say with that, when you get into the Hebrew, it's talking about war like a pearl. When you read the real language, I don't believe that women can't wear pants. There's nowhere in the Hebrew that says that. They're not supposed to wear clothes attaining to a man, war like a pearl. But my wives, they wear dresses. It's part of the culture. But if it's a wash day or something, she's throwing some pants, she's not going to the lake of fire, or she's not breaking the commandment, because I'm pretty sure she picked her pants out from the women's section. See what I'm saying? You don't see no women shopping in the men's section getting blue jeans. And I bet not see none of y'all with no women jeans on. You see what I'm saying? So it's a total difference. It's a total difference between women of pearl, women pants, and men of pearl and man pants. But for culture's sake, if we're doing it for the culture, rock your dress. But let's not act like we didn't wear man skirts or man dresses back then. We didn't wear pants either. We didn't. We wore skirts. These are facts. but yeah, so like we just and we got to start getting to things that's gonna get us the kingdom of Yahweh, not things that's gonna have us debating and bickering about things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Female pants are female pants, and you can tell the difference. If my wife put on pants and you wear your blue jeans and I put y'all next to each other, you're gonna tell the difference. Them are female pants. That's female apparel. That's man apparel. That's all. And then when you get into Hebrew, you see the difference though. And it was talking about war like a pearl. So yeah. Anything else? All right, I'm gonna shut it down then. All right, shalom alaikum, everybody that's on the worldwide chat. I'll be back in St. Louis Monday. The next week we're gonna be in Detroit, Michigan. So shalom, peace and blessings, family.